Yeah.
Four and then here.
Oh, sorry.
The top stack is.
The bottom section.
I'm not gonna voice memo thing. Are you guys? I forgot.
Yes. The voice memo?
Right, that one?
Yes.
Good throw. Hold on.
Well, it should be, yeah. So 6:08, I'll call this meeting to order. Jessica, please call.
Claudia Lucas. Here. Anna Soto. Present. Jessica Mendoza. Present. Kevin Mackey.
Here we go.
Late.
Yeah.
Maura Piera.
Present.
Marisa Costa.
Please go back. Seeing we've got quorum, we move on to orders of business, deferrals, conditions, regions. Seeing none. Moving on to public comments. Do we have any comments?
Hi, my name is Vivi Prieto. I'm interested in the education advisory board's position. I already put in my application. I'm very excited to potentially be considered to be working with you also.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Marita Show, Marita Casas here. Approval minutes, you have in your packets the March 25th approval minutes?
No,
No.
no, you guys don't have minutes for that.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. I'll get you those. I'll get you those today. I'll get you those today or tomorrow.
That's okay. We'll just so you guys know, I'll be part of the next. So it's fine.
Staff updates. Digital flyer.
Okay. So, thank you. I think Barbara Woman is the only one I have the text for now. So we have all photos now.
Okay.
HML, I went back and what I had was like their pre-made flyers.
Okay. So we have pictures for everybody, like
Yes.
high quality,
Good.
good.
Yeah,
pictures.
we're good for pictures.
Okay, so you're missing.
So I just
assets.
need bullet points.
But this is like, walk me through it. You need a paragraph about the school.
No.
Bullet points.
I want
The highlights.
bullet points, the highlights
Highlights.
of.
Of each program.
uh,
Or like programs they have,
program.
What are you trying to sell HMO?
and you only have that from Gold.
Yes.
Kyle, can I interrupt for one moment?
Yeah.
This is being streamed, right?
Yes.
Because I have someone who's texting me that they can't see it. Is
Let
it?
me, I was gonna double check it now. Let me see.
Okay,
Yeah, I see it here.
okay,
Do you know where they're watching
Have
from?
them go through YouTube, but YouTube always has them.
okay. So,
So we only have,
So at this point, it just sounds like, I mean, we've already drafted it with the photos we have and with the info from Barbara. So.
Do you need bullet points from every school?
No, what
they're-
what's
No, no, what I'm saying is that nobody has sent it in, that's why I'm just.
Yeah.
send an email to Intergovernmental Affairs so they can.
Let me
Just.
I don't know what emails I've sent them, to be honest with you right now, but I'll double check. If anything, I am gonna ask you guys to help push if you know any of the contacts. That's kind of how we got.
How I got
so
Goldman is
quickly.
I immediately emailed my principal and I
Yeah.
emailed the lady that was in charge of the magnet program, it's in charge of the magnet program, and I got on both of them to make sure they did. I had conversations and emails and follow-up.
Only because with intergovernmental,
It takes.
Gonna
Who are
take
you
forever.
contacting at Intergovernmental?
I let Diaz,
Okay,
she's the one that took over. Done it.
Yeah.
okay, because there's someone there called Tabitha.
Okay, if you have the email,
Tabitha is
I'm happy to
let's boss. Tabitha's the. It's like saying like maybe Clarissa in New York.
so do you guys?
Yeah, so I will reach out.
You want me to reach out to her? Or you, You're saying
I
you
would
would-
prefer,
okay.
you know. But yes,
Yeah.
and I'll send the emails.
I think that most of the schools may have some of that information also on their websites, as far as academies and stuff.
we can
I'm
always
just throwing
take
it out
it from there. Yeah, I think we can always take it from there. And as I mentioned, I know HML kind of has this pretty much that and a
Mhm.
flyer, but this is kind of giving the schools an opportunity to see what they, because the schools have so much. It's really more like what they want to highlight, but I guess if we're at a time crunch, like that's where. we'll
I'll
go.
get you HML, Miami Lakes K-8 Center. And I have a contact at Miami Lakes Educational, body as well.
Oh, if you want my minutes made, I can have my sister. She
Okay.
works there.
Yeah.
I'll have her so that we don't have.
Got it. I'll just,
Okay,
yeah.
so let me.
Let's give it another, let's give it
But
another
no,
try.
that we have it on the website, so I don't think it'll be anything different.
And yeah, I guess at this point, we'll have it ready for when they start the new school year. Well, before that.
Okay, moving on to future leader scholarships. Do we have any?
Yeah, so, if you guys saw my last email, there was a correction made, because I originally had sent out 5, but it's really 4. I have the copies here, if you guys need to review them again. Yeah, you guys just have to go on it. And then I did want to mention while we were on the subject that, Andrea did vote. You know, she wanted to mention that her votes were for applications 1 and 2.
Oh, they're numbered.
So these are,
From the grants.
Oh, okay.
Um,
For her votes are 1 and 2.
I guess in the past.
Yeah,
they
I'm gonna
considered
pass it
Oh,
on
yeah.
to you.
So had everybody taken a chance to take a look at?
Can we
those?
take like 10 minutes now for everyone to look at them again?
Absolutely.
Just to get the
I don't
numbers.
remember them by numbers or anything.
I don't remember my numbers, but I remember.
I don't
my-
remember the
wrote
numbers. I just
No,
remember.
that's why I wrote the
Yeah,
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got my numbers. Yeah, there's numbers on them.
Oh, at the bottom.
There's a voting sheet. for you guys.
I don't vote, but.
Thank you.
Maurice doesn't vote.
Oh.
No, I can hear. I'll be my, but, you said Andrea said number 1 and 2?
Yeah, that was.
And I chose 1, so. I won't let it be number.
And 3.
Oh, okay, I see.
And then-
Okay, so mine.
And then 4 is spelled. And then number 4 is fine. Yeah, and then number 3 is. Okay, yeah. Number 1 is white, yeah. Number 2 is a similar to that.
Do we have the applications or is it?
Yeah, there's-
I just wanted to see something before I
me
make
too.
that decision.
It's a big two.
I can pull it.
You could- okay, okay.
Here you go.
How funny.
You can take the vote or Jessica takes it.
If you want, I can do it for you guys. It's pretty easy with the paper, and then I'll
Yeah.
send you guys a copy of this.
Do you want to see, we have to revote?
Yeah, I'll check it if you guys want to move on as I'm doing it. That gives you time.
Senior manners, I know you had said that, we had, a large amount.
There's a high demand for them this year.
I wanted
So there's 50 that have been sold. And I have 5 parents on standby, so.
Standby as in. Why, because there was only a limit?
Yeah,
Because
so,
limit of polls.
because we share that with the veterans as well. So we just have to make sure that we have enough space to accommodate the extras.
Oh, so the veterans stay on, I thought they would come off and then ours went.
No, they both go up at the same time.
I thought when my daughter was in high school, I thought it was like something.
No,
Yeah? Oh, okay.
I think they go up at the same time, but the veterans stay on a little longer.
Okay, so that's a good, that's,
Well, I sent it out to all of my
that's
sons,
very good.
your friends that live here, so.
And I'll let you guys know, but yeah, those 5 parents are on standby and we're gonna let them know by end of week. We're gonna try our best to accommodate them. See if maybe there's an area we can.
They used to be, and last year we didn't have a name, right? Was it last year?
Last year we didn't have. Last year, I think we had to scramble for some to get the budget to.
Right,
the surprise.
so we started, we're like.
And now we had to
we thought it
raise
was gonna
it.
be a raise.
Well, that was 2 years.
Oh,
2 years.
Yeah.
Moving on to E, awards of excellent nominations. So
I have those.
Okay, I have copies of those as well if you need them.
I didn't.
Was there, you said there was extras?
So, I wanted to share something before we
Correct.
get there, a couple of things, so I went through the applications, we received a total of 8, correct, Kyle? Something like that, a total of 8, I remember.
Yeah.
A lot of the ones were left unnominated. I had 3 teachers who reached out to me after the deadline and they sent me their nominations. So I brought them in case it's up to the committee if you want to consider them. These are all nominees that have currently nobody. So to me, I said, I'll take them and I'll take them to the committee. So you all can decide whether to accept them or not. In my opinion, it's kind of like a no-brainer in the sense that, they did submit it late, but we don't have
Nobody
anybody
there.
else.
There's nobody there. yeah.
So,
I'll make a motion to approve the nominations that Maritza has brought.
I'll like consider.
A second to consider them.
I brought them, I redacted them. I'm not as good as Io. I like to redact them with a marker. But, and then I have an unredacted copy for Io later.
So, I'm sorry, did you guys vote on this already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I did. So I had already prepared voting sheets, so you guys are just gonna have to.
So we'll add those on
Right.
for.
But these are like I said, nobody else has come in.
Yeah,
since
so
you-
there's no.
So you can write them in.
Yeah. so
Yeah.
I'm gonna write them. Put them in.
But either way, like I said, these are like nobody else's.
Okay.
Is running.
So
I
these
will,
are the original.
So let's go through the originals and then we'll go through the ones these that aren't on the list anyways.
I will say that,
That's the voting sheet.
I will say,
Wait,
this is the award of excellence.
Oh.
I will say that one of the girls who was nominated for the Fine Arts Award in 12th grade, the teacher later felt that she,
Do you have one?
so one of the girls that's nominated for Fine Arts,
This
and
is the voting thing?
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is the. You have
she
this
doesn't,
one?
I only made
Oh,
2, so you guys have to pass around.
It's fine, you can, because.
We're still trying to decide here, because I,
What I did want to say was that one of the girls that's nominated for Fine Arts under 12th grade is also another teacher nominated her on this one for Community Hero. So the Fine Arts has 2 people. So if anything, maybe just pick the one that,
Well, I chose the Jose Marti one, that's the one I chose.
right. So, and this is an HTML one. So
Yeah, yeah.
that way we don't get the same girl
So if
twice.
we don't have names. we just
Right,
do
right.
this one, so I have-
I'm just saying, so that,
So
yeah.
if no one has
Yeah.
one nomination,
So which-
no.
So for Fine Arts, I
No,
would
but for fine arts, there was a couple.
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
So you
I
have
can
to
do
to read it and see.
my-
Yeah.
I'll tell you. So for Fine Arts, since one of the girls is being nominated for another.
It's okay, we'll send it down
Here you go.
that way.
So voting for number 1,
Number one.
because number 2, the girl is being nominated for another
Oh
one.
my god.
Oh, the other one's the only one already.
Yes.
So we write in these in the back.
Oh, no nominations, okay.
And
Well, I guess the
For educator,
fifth
we
grade
need to vote.
English and literature, that person
educator,
wins by
We have to
default.
vote
Right.
for this. And we also have
Well,
to vote for the fine art, well, for the.
I
fine
will
arts.
say
No.
that's really up to you guys. That's kind of why I put none next to
Okay.
them. Because I know, I don't know if it's you guys or another committee that sometimes has felt that just because there's something doesn't mean that.
That was us, because I remember
was
that
that
was a
one
one liner.
sentence.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember the dramatic one
But
liner for us.
we required a 100-word minimum
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, now,
Yeah.
they were.
Not everyone
they
was,
were
yeah,
enough.
yeah.
They were enough. Okay, so how do I know which one 1, 2, and 3 for 1 and 2 for fine arts?
so
So one is Jose Marti, right?
right, so the one I brought is an HML girl, which is being nominated for something else,
Right,
which is the
right.
same one. So I would just put, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Put
yeah,
number
but
1.
Now, I think this is.
You need a
number
copy,
one.
they have a copy, so. you
Oh,
can
here it is.
first.
Number
Right
one,
in the back.
number 1 is
Jose
Jose Marti. Yeah.
Okay, so that is the one. I did put a number 1 here, but I wasn't sure if that was in the back.
Was the ones that we just got from him.
And then educator would take a vote, because there was.
Yeah, but there's no,
But-
they only, these only have one nomination each.
Right, so.
So
we-
we
have
could
to
just
write
approve
them or
them,
no?
basically.
Or you
Yeah,
can just,
like,
you don't even have to write. If you
Yeah,
guys
you
just
just
wanna
have to
vote.
approve.
Yeah, motion approved.
Yes, but what is,
So we have on this list, we have 12th grade community hero,
yeah, I have it here, 12th grade community.
8th
hero.
grade community hero.
So let me just circle it. I'm just gonna put that here.
But the motion you guys made was to accept those nominations as last minute. not as winners.
Well, there went into, there's only one.
Because there's only
Only
one.
But
That's what they're
But then I
motioning
think
for
you
now.
have to take a vote. That's what she's saying. She gave you the
Oh,
option.
that's
So we're gonna vote for that on our
Vote
paper.
on our paper.
Okay, yeah, so if you circle it.
Yeah,
you
we'll
want
circle
that,
it, yeah.
And if you leave a blank.
Oh,
I'm gonna
okay.
circle it, and
Community,
then
community
eighth
heroes.
I had
grade
written
advocacy.
Eighth grade community
Local,
hero.
no, it's eighth grade local advocacy.
Local advocacy, uh-huh.
And then twelfth grade community hero.
Community.
Okay,
And then
So-
and then you have two, there's two.
There's two on the second
There's
page.
two grade, two eighth grade community hero and eighth grade advocacy.
And eighth grade English.
Wait, hold on. I didn't see.
Let's do it again.
There's eighth grade, 12th
I thought it was
community
one-
heroes.
Wait,
Two
you
more.
put two on each page.
Yes.
And then eighth
I didn't see
grade
that.
Yeah,
advocacy.
So those are the four.
Okay, so it's eighth grade community hero two.
correct, and
Okay,
eighth
so
grade,
there's one, two. Let's circle these. for
Correct.
12 ones.
Yeah.
Before that, I brought four
the other
nominations.
ones, what's
Eighth
the
grade advocacy and then eighth grade English,
eighth grade English?
English and literature. Okay,
And
so now we have
four-
1, 2, 3, 4.
There's four.
Twelfth grade.
There's one 12th grade and three eighth grade.
Here,
Perfect.
those there.
Okay, so for eighth grade English, how are we gonna vote for this? Do we write it in our paper?
We just circled.
Just circle it.
I just circled it at the bottom of
Circle
the
the
red.
bottom.
Them at the bottom.
On your left.
On the red, you're the ones around.
There was only
Yeah, I
one.
see the ones in
Yeah.
red, just because by default they're winning.
Yeah, they're red, so you just circle them.
Which I think next year we should tweak the way that they get nominated. Maybe not leave it open, maybe have every school nominate a certain amount of kids.
For each category.
Yes,
Mandatory.
yes.
Because every school has these.
Yes.
people. It's that I feel like nobody knows about them.
No, and then
Mine-
outside community, they don't do it, and then
Right.
it's just, it gets,
I'm gonna be honest, I happen to have heard about this because I'm on the board, but
Mhm.
what I'm saying is, I don't think every teacher. that
Yeah.
is in Miami
that's what I'm
cares
saying,
about.
so if it's pushed out by the principal saying you need to
That's
nominate
what we need to
amount of kids,
That's what.
they
needs
don't
to
get
be
nominated, so I think next year we need to go,
School by
school
school
and
and make sure that the
mandated that
schools are
they-
doing it. because
right.
This is not enough.
right,
numbers.
exactly, so I think it needs to be sent to the schools next year.
And not, I don't know if it should be through intergovernmental or like one on one,
Right.
just making sure that each principal.
Uh-huh.
knows.
That way we'll get more, and we can actually vote.
So for future leaders, the winners are applicant 2 and 4.
2 and 4?
Yeah.
But can you pass those scholarships back whenever you have a chance?
These,
Yes.
Which one was 4? What's 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass it back.
That was the
Future
last one?
leaders,
So the two
And
winners,
the two was.
applicants 2 and 4, number 2 was Jose Marti and 4 was Belen.
So we can turn these in?
yeah, you get.
Those are the winners?
Yes.
I'll show the names. of the thing.
No, no, you did the senior night already? Nobody spoke?
Yeah, senior ready. We got 50, we got 5 more that we're trying to see.
So we
Yeah,
did B, we didn't B, we didn't.
You skip student member.
yeah, I'm sorry, student member.
I was like, hold on. Okay.
We'll go back to C, student members.
So Io and I booked a date for the next student leadership meeting. It's gonna be before our next EAB meeting in May. So if any of you guys wanna come in a little earlier that day and.
May what?
So that meeting, just so you guys know, is May 23rd because of the federal holiday.
Oh, I can't be here that, wait, May 23rd is a
A
Thursday.
Yes, because there's a federal holiday and the date is.
Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to be here because I have my son's baccalaureate in math. It's like the day before my graduation is 20.
So
So.
yeah, that's my
I will not be
update.
there.
So I scheduled that with Io, just to keep everything on one day. So I think EAB is at 6 p.m. So the student meeting is gonna be at 4:30.
Yes.
So feel free if anybody wants to join us, and that'll be a good way to close off. And then we'll make sure, we'll follow through, and then at the main meeting, hopefully you all select next year's student rep. So I can work with whoever that is, and in that transition process, moving
We
forward.
vote on that on May 23rd meeting.
It's up to you all. I would assume yes, right?
But I think we have a posted deadline of some time in May
Mhm.
for your meetings.
But we meet, we vote on that day, the 23rd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by then it's the.
Okay, so that's one. Twice.
Oh, yeah, it was number 7.
Moving on to old business. So we have a couple things for the awards that we have to go over.
Yes.
Um, Also, what are we sponsors at?
Oh, wait, I need a picture, because I gotta send that to the awards
Oh, yeah.
person. He needs that today.
How much are we at sponsors? That depends on if we could get some of those other stuff we need.
And I need names for each one of these awards.
Yeah, that's what we're doing now before we,
Mhm.
and you get the teachers.
So you guys have a total of $3,400 sponsored dollars
We haven't
confirmed.
voted for the.
$3,400 sponsored, sponsored dollars confirmed, and then possible either 200 or 500 extra coming in from that.
Okay, guys, we kind of skipped, we did not complete the award of excellence nominations, voting. We didn't do the teachers.
The educators of the
You
year,
guys
yeah.
don't have our paper.
They're circled on the paper.
We did.
Oh, man, I didn't,
Oh.
because, because I have to. Mhm.
On your paper.
Oh, here, sorry, there you go. Yeah, so then I need that with names and everything we need to put on the awards, because. we're
And so
running-
far, where are we at on expenses?
And sponsorship, the headquarters Toyota come through?
Yes. So the 3,400 I just mentioned
Mhm.
is with headquarters Toyota. Here, I'll read them off.
Because you have $3,400, that's what you have to spend.
And you know, you have more because you guys have a budget.
We have $1,000.
That's just
So
sponsored
that's
dollars.
$4,400.
So 200.
We have 1,000, so anything event, we have events, yeah, $1,000.
Okay,
But sponsor money goes first.
right, so.
So you have 200
We need to
from
list.
Maritz, 200 from MHC Construction, 500 from Galloway Logistics, 2,000 from Porter Toyota, 500 Linear Aid Solutions. And then Epic is gonna come in at an extra 200 or an extra 500. They're gonna let us.
Is that AJ?
So it's either 3,600 or 39.
And then we're missing, what have we not calculated in our expenses? Cause I know we have the buy-in guide, 1,500. We already did the
You already have
Amazon
that?
order. Yeah,
Okay, so you have 1,500 for the paella,
correct.
and what else?
We have I don't know how much.
What do you get from Amazon, like utensils and stuff like that?
Correct. We still need to order the centerpieces. We have the,
Here, I'm gonna read out what you've sent to me so far.
we do
1,500 for
flowers?
the paella. $328 on Amazon, which include the plastic cups, napkins, plastic plates, the pre-rolled cutlery, and the round tablecloths. Maybe we already received all that. $350 for the videographer.
Wait, the tablecloths are paper, I mean, they're plastic?
no,
No,
They're.
They bought,
Okay, you bought them,
Yeah.
so we can keep them.
Yeah.
Cause last year we rented, remember? Okay.
But they're nice tablecloths, they're.
Yeah, they're material.
350 for videographer, 1,000 for balloon garland.
We- got the balloon
that's
first?
a balloon. We have to discuss that now.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Did you already get the balloon first?
No, we have
We
to
have a
discuss it.
quote.
We have a quote.
A
And
quote
then,
from?
Did you, were you gonna print that?
no, I don't,
No.
but I have those.
And what are you guys doing, the whole arch, the entire arch?
So
or
she's
something?
quoting me, I think that we don't need to spend the whole $1,000, to be honest. We still have some of the, I'll show you. Okay, so we still have these centerpieces, right? All we need to buy is purchase is the 2024.
Okay, so you still
Okay.
have, where are those? They're in boxes?
They're in boxes.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, so we need, just
Oh,
need
so
to
that's
cut
all.
the 2024 part.
you could have done that on Amazon.
Correct, correct.
Did you get them?
No, we can still order them.
Okay.
Okay, we have to order those. I'll send that to Otto, but we have to find out, I have to see what budget. it is.
What was it, 350 for? It was the videography, right? Video,
And then I found for that.
the DJ is still gonna be
The
donated,
DJ's donated.
he's gonna donate?
Yeah, see, a pack of a 12,
Yeah.
$8.99, so for 17
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah, no.
And then
So that's something to
the,
do the balloon.
Okay.
I'm gonna show you something.
this is what she quoted us for the balloons.
She quoted $1,000.
But the
And
balloons,
that's including.
no, that's 325 for the centerpieces. And the 6 something for the arch.
She's doing balloon centerpieces?
No, I asked her just to see what it would come out to, but it's not worth it.
So how much is just the arch?
How much did you say?
And while you guys are discussing that, I did speak to the chef over at our school. He's already committed to a few other things and does not have time, unfortunately, to be able to work the event. It's just, yeah, it's, again, we go back to the testing and we
Yeah,
go,
yeah, yeah.
they just, you know.
Here, I have it here. So the breakdown of the $1,000 is 650 for the garland. That's placed on the backdrop and 350 for the balloon basket centerpieces.
Yes.
$600
How
for the
much?
arch, $600.
So 650, and it's the complete arch, half an arch, what is it? Do you have a picture of it?
She says she's,
Because you need to be very, very careful when you're doing. Cause you know, like the kids' graduation, it was like just like this, and there's like the entire arch, and then there's half. So it's like,
yeah, I hear you.
Do we have a
That's so
backdrop?
much money.
We have a backdrop,
no, I know they're expensive because I know that
No,
first
no,
was
no,
just
no.
half and it was 400.
and then we have to also
We're not about-
consider that our backdrop doesn't have.
Is this the person that did it last year?
No, the person who did it last year is no longer doing it.
Mhm.
No, but they are charging an arm and a leg.
So
It's
she would
very
say,
popular.
she would say it
Everybody
would be
wants the
bigger than
balloon
this one.
arch.
Okay, so is it, okay, so when you say arch, is it arch is the whole thing?
Correct, because we sent her.
Like a rainbow?
Because an arch is the
Yeah,
entire.
see,
It's a
that-
rainbow,
send her this.
exactly.
Yeah, that costs a lot. And is she gonna do it just like that?
Correct,
Okay, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, that's gonna cost,
Oh, that's what we did last year.
that's what we
Yeah,
did last.
$600.
no, it does. I just didn't have it for Katie.
Do we have it in the
Do we
budget?
have, I mean, do we have that in, how much do we have available?
She said we
No,
have
send me that
4,400.
picture a minute. Send me a picture.
Just out of curiosity, do we have to do an arch? Can we do like two?
Or something?
The problem is I don't know what that top is gonna look like.
So
I
the
would
problem
tell
is, this top here,
Probably
this,
like an ugly pole.
Yeah,
yeah, it's an ugly pole, because this thing that the canopy is really heavy, we have to, maybe rent the stand from the vendor that did it last year.
Okay, don't rent the stand. My sister has that stand.
That same
holds
one,
that's black and it stretches out.
Mhm.
but this one's really, this was
We can order it
really
from
heavy.
Amazon too, I mean, just to
That was
have.
what?
This backdrop's really heavy, yeah.
She got it on Amazon.
That's what I'm saying, on Amazon, you buy the stand and you can even get, a really nice
If-
pinout for much
I would,
cheaper.
if we could get something that's
But-
just decorations for the balloon arch to cover it, I'm all.
No, but there's nothing to cover the top there because you gotta have to get this. Just send me that picture so I can send it to the lady. And so I can get
So-
another estimate.
We have 4,400
We
now.
need other estimates. I don't
Yeah,
think we
yeah.
can just go.
Send
with
it to
the first
me.
estimate.
The picture, so I'm gonna send it to her right now.
Can you send me those pictures so I can see, cause I know a couple of people do balloon arches too.
Yeah,
That's kind of.
So we can get a couple of.
A couple of estimates,
Mhm.
that's kind of.
I'm telling you, it's very expensive.
No.
Because it's
It's not
become
cheap.
trendy, yeah.
Yes,
Now it's become
It's
trendy.
super expensive.
No, and you think about
I
it,
do them all the time for my kid, my students do them, but they do them for free.
and if you think about something.
Exactly.
No, no,
Hours
this
of
is not
doing it.
easy. There's little balloons, big balloons, this type of,
Yeah,
balloon,
no,
it's a little more.
But
Okay,
they're
so
gonna have
other
to-
than that, we have then
Oh,
we,
yes.
the order for Publix. That's in the budget again, right? That's included in there, the Publix, the food.
Yes, so you guys told me to order the same thing as last year.
Yeah.
I can't order it because it has to be a certain days up.
Right, and that total comes out to, so we could just see how much we're at. You remember?
Because we have less applicants this year too, right?
Yeah.
So that means that
We have to see how much the awards are gonna be.
we're gonna have less people.
Yeah,
So I might call the food guy instead of saying, because we have a budget for 150. Go down to just 100 or
so how many do we have now? Okay, so we have.
How many did we have last year?
130.
Okay.
130 people?
That's what we,
And how many awards?
7, 10, 11, 12. 12 and
do you remember, do
13.
we have,
We have 13 awards.
14, because YTF is gonna also. have-
Yeah, why,
Oh,
yeah,
so we want that, yeah, about that. So YTF voted on us. Me and Ms. Soto are both on youth activities. They're giving out one award called the Miami Days Youth Leadership Award, which is to one of the volunteers that helps at all of their events, like the Easter event, the Halloween event. So there's this one girl who is selecting it, and they wanted Ms. Soto and I to ask the EAB if you guys are okay with that one girl being
One girl and 2
Being
boys.
given
And
her
the
Three,
awards.
3 people.
3 people.
They have paid. They paid for their food,
I was like, actually, I was.
coming out of my budget, you know?
That's good.
all the same taxpayer money at the end of the day, but if we have, you know,
But we don't share budgets.
Yeah.
that's true,
And you have a bigger budget than us.
Yeah, man,
way bigger.
you don't
We
share
can
budgets.
bring it, we can bring it back. at the-
And I thought I used to present it at that award, since you're already
Right.
presenting awards anyway, to present it at that.
It'd be great if you could at least cover the meal, if you know.
If what?
If you could at least cover the meal.
Because you're paying, how about the award? Are you guys covering the award?
Yeah,
Okay,
we're getting the award, we're just gonna
Okay.
present it at.
so it's just the presentation.
Correct.
They're covering the
So
award.
14 then.
Do we need to vote on that? or-
I will, no, I mean, yeah, just so that you guys are in agreement.
I'll make a motion to accept the YTF award of Miami Lakes, what is it? Leader-
So it's only gonna be you two that are gonna be there. It's not like the entire YTF.
Right, no.
No, just, no, cause I'm on Jessica's,
Right,
you know.
then
I'm on my
everybody's gonna
friend.
show
So it's just
Yeah,
that
because if
Kyle
I've got
and her
10
two guests,
people.
because each one we let them bring two guests,
Correct.
right, for each show.
And then the sponsors as well, remember they get seating.
And you guys,
We
last year
invited-
posted the retiring teachers that you guys wanted, last year you guys collaborated with the mayor's office, so that's something to keep in mind as well.
Is there anybody, I know we have one retiring in our school, but.
We're still waiting for our next count.
Oh, we don't have
We
it?
don't even have it.
I know
Before?
How are you gonna get?
I know the region, I know the
I'll send an email out today and see if we can get.
I
that.
know the region met with the principals and asked them about the retirees, but it's like, I spoke to my principal, he said that. You know, the region told all the principals to get the list, but that nobody's finalized it yet because the retirees and this and that. So,
Yeah, sometimes they don't announce until later on.
Like the last moment or?
Yeah, because if they find out, word gets out, some students may, believe it or not, get upset, and then it's testing time, so.
See.
You know, you wanna keep everything as, you know, generic and as normal as
The
possible.
proclamations, do we do awards for them?
they sent it to me. Oh.
Man,
I know the proclamation is done by Josh, but we don't do any awards.
no, we don't have. any
Yeah,
board.
so that's, I mean, we can still add it
But
to
we
the
need
agenda.
we need the count for the food
We need to
and the
count.
tables, you know, like the chairs and everything.
And I will say,
So for this setup here, that's $1,000, $1,000 for this.
No,
Yeah.
600.
And it's
Six-
not the
yeah,
backdrop.
650.
but no, yeah, that doesn't include the back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just.
But we own that back.
We own the
Yeah,
back.
yeah, the backdrop.
I don't know who has it, 'cause-
We didn't even have it.
Actually,
okay.
Okay,
So it's
so,
just 600 for that,
650.
650.
Okay, so it's
Give me their
14
butt.
kids times two parents, two kids.
Correct, and then remember, the
So 14 times
nominator,
3.
the nominator, we were gonna invite the nominator this year, right?
Yeah, so
So-
you guys need to put together a guest list, so you have.
Uh-huh.
I say 14 times 3, because it's 14 times 3 is what?
Teachers you guys normally invite.
42 people.
Or-
Plus the
people.
nominator,
Plus the nominator, so do another 14,
Kids and, what are you talking about?
because we were saying we were gonna invite the nominator. this
like the
year.
Okay, hold
teacher who
on.
nominated.
42 kids and fam, kids and two, okay. Then you're gonna. invite
14 more
14
because of the nominators.
nominators.
Region principals and council, I would add another 15 for that. The council, district staff, the principals.
Okay, how many schools do we have? Because that's how many principals are gonna show up.
We have-
For the amount of schools, no, not our schools. The
How many schools
that
have
won.
one?
Oh,
The schools that won.
Miami Lakes
Maybe
K-8
those are gonna
Center.
show up. K
Goldman,
eight, okay,
Goldman, Miami Lakes Middle. Bob Graham. HML. Jose Marquis Mass. That's all I have. We still don't know where the educators.
Mass,
and the 2 scholarships, yeah.
Jose Marti Mass and
2
Hialeah.
scholarships
Wait.
plus
Yeah, but
2
the-
parents.
I already counted those.
You already counted them?
The
Okay.
scholarship, yes.
Yeah.
Because
Plus the 2
the
parents.
kid that got the scholarship,
Yes, 1, 2.
the requirement for the scholarship is anyone who lives in Miami Lakes.
Right, no, I know, but then at that
Yeah,
point, we're
times
just giving them a
14.
check, but now
Oh, no,
we're
wait,
getting it staff from the schools. I don't know.
I guess, yeah.
15 was the one.
I don't know.
Because then do we limit it to that or do we leave it for just that, just questioning
Say again?
because, no, because he said Jose Marti Mass,
Of the kid that's getting the
Because the kid-
scholarship,
not the scholarship. Is it the scholarship?
scholarship, right, Isle?
But
Yeah,
it's not
Oh,
bad.
because it's a scholarship.
scholarship.
It's just
Okay.
Jose Marti.
No, it's from Marquis Mass Academy, that's the name of the
Mass,
school.
Jose Marti.
The one in, yeah, the one in Hialeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so we have
Yes.
45 then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 schools?
Right, plus region staff,
Right, that's. okay.
school board member.
Okay, Roger wanted me to find out if there's any specifics that you need for them. Like, because all they have is the awards date, they don't know. anything else.
Well, last time we had the, I believe, Dorcas did a speech right? He
No.
did,
He
no.
did a video.
He did a video.
That wasn't
Yeah,
last year though. That
I
was
don't know if
2 years
they could do that again, or we could have him do a speech, or, you know. Or Alonso, I mean.
Cause I don't know if it's Roger. Yeah, I don't speak business. We don't shop. So Roger just told me today before I came over, here, I was like, hold on, I wanna make sure you guys have this on your calendar. It's on the calendar. But then he wrote something like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. But then I'm like.
Usually they're
I- I
there,
asked my
but
brother-
only George's was the one that did the.
Right,
Alonso was
video
here last year.
last year.
Yes, he gave a speech and then he had to go.
And then he had
somewhere
to
else.
go, correct.
There was, yeah, there was a speech on the.
He came last year?
in person.
Mhm,
In person,
mhm.
Who?
Soldiers?
No,
No,
no, no, no,
Oh.
he had the.
Video.
But the video wasn't last year.
Yes,
Yes.
It was the year before.
and last year too, I guess. There was a
Video
video
was
last
last year.
Oh, really? Okay. Can we see if the superintendent wants to come in person or send a video again out? And then,
Are you asking? So I need something from you guys. I need the event request form to be turned into me so that all requests are in one place and we can make sure.
Do you have a
everything's
copy of that
organized.
so we could?
Yes.
what is
I
that?
don't have it with me now.
What is that form?
Yeah, I've shared it with you guys. I think it's that dating handbook. But that's pretty much any request you have that you need staff to help coordinate tables, layout,
Okay.
janitorial, if you
Okay.
need coolers, if you need a podium, anything you need from us, we need that. The videographer, whatever it is that we're gonna ask him to take photos and shots of or whatever, we need that in.
Oh, I sent you, I had him send you stuff, right?
I got it.
Okay, perfect.
So what do you need him to put on the request?
It needs to be filled out completely. And
How many
it
tables
is-
we need?
It helps you
Okay.
because there's things that you may
I
not
thought
be
you were
thinking.
correct.
of that
Is there any way you could send me last year's, just so I
I'm
can?
gonna resend it to
Yeah.
you.
I think you already have the tapes, how many
I already got it.
chairs, everything.
So can we continue with the guest list? Cause I think we're missing some stuff. So
Go, 45 kids,
region staff as well, which
so
is
we have principal,
principals.
somebody, they send somebody from the school, okay.
Plus, we had the region director came last year, like 2 of them came.
Yes,
Plus the region, I don't know if, the region superintendent, I feel like they may have come.
yes, they did,
They did, then we have the council. And the mayor,
some of them.
slash like 4 of them came, and then we have the sponsors. How much seating
I know.
did each sponsor get?
How many of us are there?
Sponsors, I think, got 2 seatings last year.
It depends on the amount.
The amount, correct.
And
I know I got 2 seats.
So there's 6 of us. Do we still want the school to come and serve? Remember, we had the school. No, Lot Childs came last year. They're the ones that served food.
Well, you could get a lot of child comments, yeah.
They're the ones that had come and they served, you know, the
Yeah,
tables.
by all means, yeah. That'd be great. They were-
So all sponsors get 2 seats with the exception of title sponsor, which is only headquarters 2. Headquarters,
So
gotta get
how many sponsors do we have? Cause I need to put that on the guest list too. Sponsors. How many? Friday? Cause I only have a total of what they gave us, which is $3,400, so I don't know.
So right now, including Epic, you guys have,
Epic, which has not sent in their money,
No,
right?
they haven't.
Okay.
So you have 5 sponsors that get 2 seats each, and then you have one sponsor that gets 4 seats.
Which is,
the headquarters.
Headquarters 2.
are they all gonna come?
We don't know that.
So we'll send out the invitation and they are.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give the final count for the food until when? So we can put that on our RSVP.
First,
Oh,
Of me.
May.
are you serious? That far ahead?
That far ahead?
You don't for the
It's
test?
10th.
Maybe the week
So
before?
maybe-
No, the one before, yeah, that's.
Okay, so the invites have to go out this week,
Yeah,
by Friday.
if that's
Well, the
case.
sponsors are aware because it's part of their benefits. I will send them a reminder.
But we need to see the students as well. We can't assume that all these
yeah.
kids are just.
We could, I mean, I don't think it has to be, yeah, I'm saying the
Is that a
first,
date that you just?
I just
came
came
up
up with a date. because
with? Okay,
I
that's
wanna
what
make
there
sure.
we go.
Oh,
There
I
you
don't
go.
wanna be clear on, I don't
You had to
wanna,
finish for
I
that.
know
Yeah.
usually about, I mean, restaurants, a week before.
A week
You do
before?
paella,
Yeah, even
not-
like 3
You
days
want the
before.
Monday before? The Monday.
I
of-
would think,
the
yeah,
May-
right?
That's May 6th, that would be May
6th.
6th, the Monday before.
so if you need.
It's
recipe
six.
by
Monday
May-
of is May 6th, on Monday.
And for the schools, you're gonna limit it to just one.
one person.
Usually
Yeah.
one person. that's-
One representative from each. So I have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, 6.
And
What do
only
you
from
got
the
now?
winning schools, not from all the schools in the area.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said.
Do we know who the winning educator is?
I'm doing that now. Mm.
Well, at 98 right now. 100. How many we have up there?
Last year we had 130.
Okay. So we're at about 100.
So last year we had
Not
15,
saying that everybody are in the season, everyone shows up.
so we had 15 round tables, 4 long tables. So we keep the 4 long tables, we have to see about the 15. Each table sits 10, right?
How many? Do we have
That's
our
very
council?
tight,
Like,
though.
Tight as-
But 10 is very.
Seven.
7 is within the.
So you
They're
would
not
say
gonna have.
Well, we
three.
will have.
I would say like 7. for
8 max or 7?
8 max.
For what?
But I would say
Tables.
7 for comfort.
I mean,
Yeah,
I know
seven.
3 will show up for sure.
Let's do 7, and they don't make it look fuller, the room. And one of the council members is a sponsor, so I guess it'll be coming in.
Yeah, so we have 100, right? 100.
Right. And so whatever the RSVP is, I would add just 5 extra, just in case of extra.
No, because then we're-
Unless when you RSVP at most events, about like 10% of people show up less. It's
Mhm.
probably gonna be like 8, 9 people. I don't think it'll be.
So we're gonna still need
Yeah.
15 tables. So
What is? Yeah.
That's the local habits.
You threw me off.
when you, the janitorial, I have to put per hour, how many hours we're gonna need them?
The event, I can just go same as last year.
Yeah. It's from this source, nothing really changing except for, we have, what does 103 mean? Number 103 comments. And then, as I see, she puts 103, but I don't know what that means. Just fold it in. Coolers, etc. 1. Water, number 103, and dishware
Oh.
place.
That's just where I stored them.
Okay,
The blue ink is my comments on.
okay.
At what time, do we need, like, people there, like the servers, stuff like that, for kids go?
Well, at least by 6.
Cause it, what time do we
6,
start?
we start
Start at 6, no?
6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
Nice.
No later than.
Because I know that these people, if you say 6:30. The dignitaries want it started at 6:30, because some of them always have something planned out. And they don't like to sit there and wait for it to start.
Okay.
So we gotta start at 6:30. I think last time.
We started late, yeah.
Yes.
Old clothes, parking. So we gotta
You don't
hold,
worry about that.
no. We've done more. Okay. So we'll get that to you. And then sponsors, you said already that we were at, we might get Epic and we might get at least 2 more, so.
Do you have a list of everything
The
for
one,
the party?
we're not,
Do you have a floor plan for the party?
yeah, there's a floor plan in here that I was gonna follow as well.
So what did you say again? Because I was writing at the same time. So we're still doing the round tables
Yeah. see?
and then the food in the back, everything the same?
One change, one change.
No stage, like last year, right?
Last
year was no
We just have the podium. On the table with the awards.
With the awards,
Okay.
which I need names,
Yeah,
categories, everything.
so we already went through sponsors, we already went through nominations, event details, Moritz, you're gonna help with the script,
Yes. I'm gonna talk to Damien and get the script and touch it up.
touch up. Okay, and then the retired teachers, we're gonna have to come back to that and see with Joseph.
You know, we have one.
Okay, so we'll call Joseph.
Well, you said that they contacted them today, right?
No.
They've contacted
been
for a
in
while.
touch.
Yeah,
For the retired teachers?
but they just haven't gone back like.
By now, the teacher should have already been put in who said this.
Yeah.
I
principal should
mean,
know.
we are.
By now, she's already.
Principal should know. Every principal should know.
Mhm.
Okay.
They just
I know,
have
that somebody's
contacting
like,
the-
surprise, I'm not coming back.
All right, moving on to the parent-child enrichment program. I thought we were gonna have a presentation. They're just.
Yeah, she sent me an email actually, right? That I need to put it in, but I don't know.
Right now?
Send an email like they're on answer.
Oh, yeah, good chat.
Start consuming, should be done. Are we contacting the schools for the retired teachers? or is
No, that's the mayor's office.
Oh, okay.
I'll follow up again.
The other ones that do certificates
No?
or whatever it is.
So we'll add it to the next agenda as well.
Agenda, or where's it already gone? Like, we've already.
Yeah, but no, that's the parent and child enrichment program.
Oh, they meant
Yeah,
to
the
retired
presentation.
teachers.
No,
I was
the
like,
presentation.
that's after our
Yeah,
words.
no. No. Okay, moving on to do business, the Bog Graham Educational Center, safety, school safety and school trust. So after the given situations at Bob Graham, I've done some research, as you may say. I do know our limitations are limited, but again, I go back to what our statement for the town is, and it is to assess the conditions, the demand and the availability of the schools. My major concern with this is just the overall safety, right, for the children within the schools, not just Bob Brown, with all the schools, right? How do we give them a voice, and how do we give the parents a notion, not a notion, but a reassurance that our kids are safe within our schools in Miami Lakes, and that they are being taken seriously
Right.
when certain things are brought to their attention. Again, I know that we're limited to what we could do, but again, if we could learn from the situation and prevent it, and that's the goal. I just wouldn't want to stay quiet with something that I feel strongly that some of these kids weren't taken seriously or weren't heard, or perhaps even parents weren't heard, or the situation perhaps wasn't handled the way it should have. Again, I don't know the full details. But just as far as PR goes, for our schools, when we sit on the education advisory board, it looks bad on the town. It does look bad on our small town that we have and the great schools that we do have. I would love to, hear your thoughts on it, how you feel. Again, my concern has always been the safety of the children and the fact that, how can you feel safe if you go to a faculty or an administration and your voice isn't heard?
All right, I'm gonna interject because we're making assumptions.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
I'm gonna wait for him to finish and then.
And again, like
know.
I've said, and like I said, I don't have all the details, and I might be
So
wrong.
we need to be careful as a town committee that we not express personal opinions on how it was handled because we were not privy to what has happened. I cannot vouch for the parents, for the girls, nor for administration as to what the accounts of that particular situation, was. I don't know that.
Mhm.
So to really go out there and make that kind of statement really does put our committee in a difficult position. I am not going to sit here and assume or just, this is where the investigative process takes place.
Correct.
You need to hear both sides and then that
Absolutely.
process has to take place. Now, what do we do as a committee? We hold back and we wait. I'm a teacher, she's a teacher, Ms. Soto's a teacher, okay? We know what those protocols are. We know that if there's something that happens, we report it. Now, that being said, parents, I don't think that I need to tell a parent if you think your child is in danger to call 911 or to call someone. We are our best advocate. We are, as parents, the best advocates for our children. And if there are concerns, right? And let's say, just for hypothetical situations, because I have seen people fight more for discounts for things or for, field trips than for anything else, okay? If your child is in danger and hypothetically saying administration is not receptive, there's nothing that precludes you from going elsewhere. We all know that we live in the world of social media, and you can blow this up as big as you want. You can have the media out on the sidewalk, you know, but you can obviously escalate it, especially if you feel that your child's welfare is at stake or anyone else's, right? Nothing precludes you from that. There's a parent-student handbook. I know for us, okay, even as us as teachers, it doesn't matter who it is. If we see something by law,
You have to report it.
we have to report it. We could lose our licenses, okay? We could go to jail for not reporting the possibility of something occurring.
Mhm.
So I'm just, you know, I'm cautioning us, we don't have to take a position. The law enforcement agencies, we need to give them time to conduct their investigation. And then, you know, time will reveal what has happened. If in fact there were any communications and if not, and I, you know, I think I speak for the three of us, we know that if, you know, something has happened or there have been any lapses, they will be addressed. But we have to give time for that investigative process to move forward. We cannot jump
So.
the gun.
So if I, and I thank you for your knowledge, because you do work for the system. And that's
Yeah.
where I see that there's a disconnect perhaps with the public. And I understand that there has to be an investigation done and there has to be certain protocols for the children and so on and so forth. But again, and it's just my opinion, as members of the EAB and as the town, the council members didn't know of it or the town wasn't aware of it. How do you handle something? I know that we don't have an oversight over the schools. We don't have any jurisdiction over schools, but again, the schools do have, we do give schools money. We do
Right.
give, you know, some kind of money that comes from, you know, the public. We do supplement some classes. So in some way or another, don't you think that we do deserve the courtesy, the town, not us, you know, the town deserves the courtesy in saying, well, this is the situations that are occurring. We are handling it, just in the sense of PR.
Right, but obviously, remember, they cannot speak unless they're told that they can speak.
Mhm.
So everything is controlled by the region, by the superintendent. So if they're not told, give a statement to the town, they're not gonna give it until everything's done. If they're not told, do this, they're not gonna do it until, you know, and anybody, I guess, you can find out if there was a public investigation on this certain individual, you can find out he's been investigated before. You can find out what happened with that before. Everybody gets a background check. Everybody's cleared. You can't work in a school without a background check. Now,
Oh, no,
once you're in a
there's several
school,
questions that could be asked about.
someone is not doing what they're supposed to do, then there's nothing you can control until the situation happens, unfortunately, and then that's what happens.
So if,
So you really can't control what's going on in the school until it's brought to your attention, because if it's done hidden, if it's done behind, you know, where there's no cameras, unless somebody speaks out, nobody's gonna know, because that
that's
individual does
important.
not have a background, and they don't have you know,
but
they're not
will
predator, they're not.
we have,
so you
will
don't
we have, let's say this case is over in a month or two,
Right,
whatever, will the public have it requested?
I would think so, I mean.
Of that
it's
investigation.
Well, anyone can.
Investigator,
It's-
right,
it's with,
But through the chair, I
it's
guess,
with the police.
just to understand, because I'm kind of confused. And I don't know, maybe I feel like everyone else is too. What is your action item? Like, what are you hoping to get out of this item on the agenda? What is the most night? What is it that you're trying to do?
Well, if in anything, I would love to, not love, I mean, let me take that back. How can we learn from this? In a sense, how can we provide the schools and with any kind of knowledge of, you know, sexual predators, tendencies or the signs that were perhaps available that could be given to administration, anything that we could provide to the schools, to local schools, for this to perhaps not happen again.
There's nothing, because we already get that. We have
Exactly.
videos, we have workshops.
Yearly training.
We have trainings that are mandatory, that everyone takes on what's appropriate, what's not. It's a video on how not to text, how not to be friends, how not to be on Instagram, how not to be on social media, how not to be alone with a child, how not to. It is done, everybody has to sign it, everybody has to do it. It's yearly and it's said over and over at every faculty meeting.
Yep.
So it's like you tell a child, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. You can only hope they're gonna follow your rules. So yes, the school board has, you know, trainings in place that we take every year and multiple times.
Mhm.
It's
But
not
just like the
once.
children have, you know, a oversight, you know, they need to be, there's consequences to it. There's oversight to the teachers and the faculty.
Yeah,
as
of
well.
Or, and there's jail time for us. We lose our licenses. If we fail to report any type of abuse, whether it comes from a parent or a staff member,
Mhm.
okay? We have the abuse hotline. We have to call it in. We have
Whether
no
we know if
choice.
it's true or not. So if any
Yes.
child comes to me, I've had children that have come to me and said,
As
this
have
is
I.
happening in my house, or this is happening, and I have to immediately, I've had to report it. And
Mhm.
that's by law, we have to do it, whether it's, we don't know if it's true or not, that's not our job. Our job is just to report it. You immediately
DCF.
have to report it.
DCF at that point will decide whether or not they have enough probable cause to go out and investigate. That is now a county DCF law enforcement issue. That has nothing to do with Miami-Dade County
But
Public.
I know where
Schools.
Mario's coming from. He's like, how do we prevent these people from being in the schools with the kids?
In the first.
But there's background checks.
I do agree with you, but my whole thing
That's the
here
only thing
is,
you do
and I
is background
understand,
check.
I understand your point of view. You can't go on hearsay, you can't go off what the social media says. But when you see several comments, that's, you know, you can't assume, you say several comments
Mhm.
saying the same thing of, it was brought up. Where did we go wrong on?
But do you not know that social media will turn? these on?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So everybody's gonna piggyback.
Exactly.
Correct,
Piggyback,
correct,
piggyback.
correct.
I don't.
But-
I heard, I did.
Yeah.
I agree with you completely on that, but again,
So playing devil's advocate, if they had all that and they reported it, it should be on file somewhere, because they should have written it somewhere.
so
So
how
they
do
might be lying that they reported things, because if they were reported, somebody was investigated, then there obviously was not enough information. There was, because there's tons of people, there's tons of teachers and administrators getting investigated daily. And if every single one of them would be put in jail without proper investigation, without proper, you know,
due process?
yeah,
Process.
then it would be, I mean, there's tons. So
If I-
they have to go through their process, you know, who knows if this individual was already investigated when those came out and nothing came up.
There's several questions
So,
that,
You
that I
to go
have,
through
and I
that
know that,
investigative process, but you have to let that process go.
They
You're
have to have
not
the
gonna get an
proof. They have
immediate
to have-
result. And to go to Jessica's point, I can say, and I'm just gonna use some of the things I heard. The person makes me creepy. Well, I can say, well, by the way, you know, full disclosure about this is true. I can say, you make me feel creepy. Is that enough at that point to warrant your removal?
no,
There
I
has
understand
to
your
be
point.
something that backs it up. Now, like you said, okay, all these people claim, right, that they have said things. Okay. I can assure you that these individuals are gonna be spoken to. It's not just gonna go, okay, it's on social media. Okay. You spoke to, you said this. Who did you talk to? What happened? But this is part of the investigative process that
And it
none of
takes a
us have
while.
anything to do with, and it is going to take a while.
And you look
Okay.
at murder trials, they take years. That's
You know, and we
horrible.
don't have proof. I mean, we're taking what people are saying, like she said on social media, for face value. The same way, you know, we don't know. We weren't sitting in the office
Oh,
with the
absolutely.
administration,
Absolutely.
nor were we with these individuals. So that's why you have to take that neutral kind of stance until the investigative process.
I just look at it
It's conducted.
as, in a business perspective, you do have to do your PR work. And if you don't, it harms your product.
They did, they arrested him.
They did arrest him, but there wasn't no public comment, there was no,
The pending investigation,
There
they
was,
did.
there was a public, you want me to show you?
There was,
from-
absolutely.
You want me to show you the
From
statement
Bob Graham?
from, no, Bob Graham did not, because they cannot.
that's what I.
But they
No,
did know there was a
did.
connected that was released.
Yes, the Connect Ed came out,
Yes,
and then the region, the board, they all came out with statements. She's not gonna come out with a statement to the public. I mean, she did, like she said, to a Connect Ed. I don't know what else. I mean, she's not gonna have a press conference. You can't.
They can't.
There's no
Exactly.
way.
There's
You can't-
limitations
first
for
of
them
all,
to
It's
do it.
minors,
Yeah.
we're
I just
talking
feel
about
that
minors.
Alamo PR is
You've gotta
not,
protect the minors.
The board in the region gave their statement. As much as they know,
but as
that's all they
much as
know.
much as you say they have to protect the minors, I was told by an individual, I'm not gonna use the name, they brought down the students and to tell them that the individual had committed suicide. So how are you protecting the students then?
Because here's the problem, and they are offered mental health. You know why?
Sure.
Because it starts to spread through social media. Then you get one kid that tells the other kid, hey, did you hear what happened? You're gonna have to bring those kids down and you're going to have to address it. And I'm sure, okay, that there was probably conversations with parents. Again, I'm not there.
Correct.
I'm not there, so I
I'm not
can't
in the
say,
middle of the school, I don't know. what we're
I
talking
can't say what
Speculate.
happened, but I can guarantee you that mental health services are going to be offered to those students because
No,
the
yes,
kids-
they have an extra staff that is at the school.
If I may, my motion is to facilitate Bob Graham with whatever needs they might need to help them, with the students or with faculty to prevent this from ever happening or from learning from this situation.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I
What
don't
are we
understand, because
doing?
you need something specific.
Yeah, what are we doing? What are the?
Again, I
needs?
can't
We
tell you
can't give
specifics
free
because I can't give it until the school
Right.
decides what, because we
Right.
can't, we go to.
So
So
you're
that's
gonna
why
have to
we're
table
jumping
this.
to the gun. We can't do
Because
anything.
they already have grief counselors, because the region gives that, and they provide that. The children have the counselors there, which the teachers have the grief counselors, the teachers were provided time if they needed time. There's nothing else you can do, they do background checks, so there's nothing, we can't give them extra background check. I don't know, I mean, besides mental health evaluation, which you need to get a doctor for that, and you're not gonna do that to every single person on your
You
staff.
just have to wait, and I understand as a parent.
No,
you're
it's a
concerned
frustration.
And it's a
It's like-
frustration, and we all wish it hadn't happened, or we.
Exactly,
we don't know,
Right, right.
But there's not, our hands are tied, you know, and this is more for people above us, as far as.
And I
the
will-
town,
no,
as
because
far
Let
as
me let the police take care
The
of it.
police, like all that,
Yeah.
those people
They
have
give-
to do
listen,
their,
they
that,
give-
you know.
Footage if they have footage, they give, you know.
The town knows that we
they-
support
they
the
give
schools
everything.
and what we're doing, and this conversation's being, you know, people are listening, they know that we're concerned, but there's nothing we can do about it.
It's like, this is what
beyond our-
happens when you have an abusive relationship and the person threatens that they're gonna do something. The police can't do anything until they follow through with that threat. So unfortunately, that's
There's nothing-
We have to wait and
It's
see
tough.
what comes out,
exactly.
what, you know, 'cause
From
obviously
From
right
your
now.
opinion, will something come out?
We
I
don't know.
If they continue investigating, then they have to show proof. It's the police investigating. It's no longer in the hands of the school.
And it's not an opinion matter, it's a fact matter. Because you're dealing, but let's say, we know what happened, he is no longer here. But that being said, if, that were not the case, you have to let the investigative process go
Correct.
through
I
and
understand that.
justice be served. Our opinions really don't matter. At this point, they have to handle it. If after the fact, something comes to light, okay? Then it can be addressed then, but at this juncture, we can't.
Okay.
We don't
Thank you.
even know what evidence they have.
We don't
We
know
don't know
anything.
anything because
Exactly.
it's on the police's hands, because whatever they had to hand it over. The school police went to arrest him, handed him over to Miami-Dade, and that's it, like, now they're dealing with it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure maybe you can, if you as a parent want to contact the school police and ask what information they have that they can disclose to you, Miami-Dade also. Because they're the ones that are handling, I'm sure from now on,
Yeah.
they transferred over, so now Metro's doing it. You can call them as a parent, I'm sure, and ask and say, look, I'm a concerned parent, blah, blah. I wanna know how this investigation is going, what's going on. Because they're the ones with all the information, because I know that everything was handed over,
Correct.
Yeah.
and now they're the ones that have
It's a
to.
criminal case.
Yeah. Cause I think even though he's gone, they still are.
No, it's not gonna stop. They're gonna obviously follow through to
Right,
see
to make sure.
what, but they
Right.
have to have time to talk to people over and over to
I
get those
just don't want it to
statements.
fall into deaf ears.
It's
No,
not, and you know what?
Call
It's not
them,
the
call them
first
and find
case.
out how it's, because you can call the detectives that are on the case. And you can ask them, how's it going, and follow up until you get an answer.
If they can, because they may.
Correct.
No, no,
Might-
yeah,
might
no,
still
but
be an
it's-
investigation. Correct.
It's just too soon.
Yeah,
It's just too soon. You gotta give them time to work it out.
Thank you. Thank you again, appreciate it. Moving on to announcements. Any announcements?
Hold on, I wanna mention
The
that we
winners?
have, yeah, so I have all the winners, I'll send it to you guys, but for educator, there's a tie between 1 and 2, so you guys.
Oh,
can
that's-
just small thing.
Between 1 and 2?
Oh my God.
I know where I'm sticking.
I know, we're kind of.
I'll say so.
So that's who's next to me.
In the middle.
I'm
And-
torn between the two.
I read, so I will be changing my vote.
So if I change I'll just change mine and make something winner.
So I chose.
These are the-
Wait a minute, nominee number 2 isn't a Dade County Public School teacher, it's for a nominee that's going to University of Miami. That works at University of Miami.
Right,
Right,
but she's
educator.
I think she's a Miami Lakes resident.
Oh, okay, but well, I'm sorry, I thought this was an award for the local kids school, no? Is it an elementary, middle, or just somebody who lives in Miami Lakes who's an educator?
If you
Correct.
want, I can just read what we have online if that helps you.
Yes, but please, wait, no. I think they could teach or no. I think.
I think it's
But
an
double check.
educator within,
Double
that
check.
lives in Miami.
That lives in my.
And that's what I-
Be
Yeah,
in or,
lives in Miami.
in or out.
But let
Right.
me double check. I think
No,
it's.
it is live, but I think my thing is that when this was created,
Mhm.
did you all have in mind to include university professors?
No, I.
I'm fine with it doesn't matter to me whether they teach in Homestead and they live
And
in
that's why I
that
want to
state.
hear it again, so I can.
What is this?
So-
But to me, it's like they teach at UM.
Exactly.
Outstanding educator of the year nominees may consist of school, community, and or county level administrators, directors, supervisors, teachers, specialists, counselors, classroom assistants, school psychologists, social workers, coaches, and mentors. This nominee is someone who demonstrates leadership, exceptional teaching practices in the classroom during and after school activities, enables achievement and participation of all students, someone who provides innovative or consistently outstanding support and or service going above and beyond the requirements of their job description, not only on school grounds, but in the community. And then it says, all nominees must be 98.
It doesn't specify which school.
Yes, and then number 1 doesn't have the address of where they live. Number 1 has the address of the school,
What school is it? Wait, what school is it?
No,
Bob Brown.
no.
Do they have to live in Miami Lakes? Or can they
Yeah.
teach?
Yeah, they
in
have
Miami Lakes?
Requirements set.
And at the end of the day, you all
Yeah.
motion for what you motion for. The rules are set by
Yeah.
you guys. If you guys wait.
No,
for it-
because I don't know what.
It does say all nominees must be 98 residents.
Mm.
Because this is the school address.
That's a question to find, to ask that person, is there a way to ask?
Does she
They
have-
lean is
But
one
you
of
guys
the-
kind of need to decide
Yeah,
today.
they did this one, yeah.
That's right.
I just think if they teach in, I don't know, I didn't think of of a university.
I thought, yeah, because we don't really deal with
Deal with
universities, we deal with schools.
So then do we wanna reassess our vote and just make it based not on?
And I think maybe for future.
But it doesn't
reassess
matter
or-
if I change my vote because between,
1 and 2.
1 and 2, I didn't have 2, so I'm just go with 1. So. I have 4 and 1, so I'll just go with 1.
Okay,
I think for the record, you guys should just take a new vote.
okay, so
Between 1
take a
and
new
2.
vote, 1 and 2.
You two
So we'll
ones.
just call the roll and then
All right,
1 is the one that's above ground. And 2 is in.
Are you taking it verbally?
Yeah,
Yeah,
take it
all
verbally.
right, Claudia,
1.
Anna,
1,
Jessica. Kevin Mack, Peter, Mario,
1.
Maurice.
I don't know.
You don't want. So 1.
1.
Can we have the names for all of them?
Yeah, if you guys want me to go through it. 5th grade English literature is Lola Yanesa. 8th business David Manuel Gonzalez Batista. 8th fine arts Ashley Perez. 8th STEM Matilda Velasco Price. 12th fine arts Hannah Mesa. 12th journalism Rosalind Navarro. 12th athletics Sarah Mar Rivera. Community hero 12th grade Natalia Alguera. 8th community hero winner Zoe Venturino. 8th local advocacy Carolina Poretti. 8th English and literature Kenya Maddox. And then the teacher.
Did we have a 5th grade?
I remember the teachers.
5th, you only had English literature.
Yes.
And Lola Yanez. And educator 1, right?
This
The
one,
winner?
Individual.
like typed up.
Yes.
By when?
Number 1 is Alejandro Juanmayo.
Yes. So Is, cause I need to give the types written to ECD for their awards.
Yeah, I can get it to you tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. So I'll tell him that tomorrow. So
Just so
on the
you have
award, it's the
everything.
name, the title, and then the
No,
date.
and the logo.
We didn't put a date?
We put the
2024?
logo.
I'll remind you that for the title sponsor, you guys, the agreement is that you put their logo on it.
Oh, so you have to put that.
So just make sure. Do you want me to send it to you?
I think it's. the
Can
same
we
as
take a look
last
at last
Yeah,
year's logo?
I
Is there a
think
photo
year. I think it's the same as last year.
of last year's award?
Yes.
Did it
So
happen
I'm
last
gonna
year?
tell him just, yeah.
If I have the proof, I'll send it to you, because I think I.
And that's for what? For
For the
the,
award.
over the award itself.
The little, remember the little.
Yeah,
plaque?
I know, I was thinking,
Mario, for the day of the 10th, what time do we report there to help?
We need to be
I
there
live by 4.
by
no?
4.
4
Just
p.m.
set up, make sure everything's
Sorry.
nice and.
Okay.
And then the educator one is different than the. You guys, at least that's how you did it last.
Do you need help setting up in addition to us?
So the award-
Volunteers or-
this is May 10th.
Yes, Friday.
The janitor, did they set up the tables or the?
Oh, no,
But you need to give me the layout.
Yeah, I'll give you the layout. Do they, do
But
they
do-
set it up or no?
They set up the tables. Tablecloths is you guys. Cause those are not.
Give me,
they're
give
not ours.
me.
Couple
Okay,
kids?
so-
Can Haley come? Can she be?
If you guys, want volunteer hours for the kids, let me know. Just let me know in advance. so we
Yes.
can-
Oh, okay. Yeah, we would. Not gonna tell you right now.
We need
Yeah,
volunteer hours.
we need
Yeah,
volunteer
my
hours.
plan.
Anytime you
We
want
can do
to.
it, what? Setting up whatever we're gonna set up.
So we get there at 4. Okay.
this is May 10th.
Yes.
My shoulders
Yeah,
cannot.
makes sense. No.
Testing.
No, I may be out of town. It's Mother's Day weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh, so some of these kids.
Bad weekend.
Yeah, I totally forgot that it was Mother's Day.
Bad weekend.
Oh, I feel like maybe some kids won't be able to make it.
Yeah, wow, that's a bad weekend.
That's a Thursday, no?
It's a
No,
Friday.
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 Yeah, you guys said it's Friday.
Wasn't it Friday last year?
No, last year was Thursday.
Oh, it
Thursday.
was.
Yeah, for Friday night.
Well, we haven't sent out invites, have you?
Is it official
We
today?
sent out, I mean, we can change
Yeah.
it, but we sent out invites to intergovernmental was sent. Invites, and I think we put it in the awards section.
It's on the awards too.
What would be an
the-
alternative date if anything?
The
Should
Thursday.
we do Thursday?
Thursday the
The
9th.
9th.
I have to check if it's big.
Yeah, you have to
Oh,
see,
the-
and you have to call Jeremy.
Yeah.
We have to change
Because
everything.
they already cleared, I think,
Yeah,
sports for you
Sports,
guys that night.
Correct. So you have to talk to Jeremy, see if he can clear this
So
one.
you guys want me to check?
Do you guys think we should?
Start changing.
I think so.
I think you're gonna have, you know, cause
Nobody
it's,
there.
I think a Friday is just not good anyway.
It's just-
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, I
agree
leave-
on Friday. I think
I
a
leave the
Thursday.
10th, so yeah, I,
Let's try to move it to the 9th.
it's Mother's Day week, it's my weekend, don't mess with my weekend, right? It's Mother's Day weekend. I got 1 weekend a year.
Speaking of announcements, just a reminder, you guys normally would have me send an invite to the principals of the school. We
Yes.
usually invite them to a meeting. I don't think you have in a while, so just, if that's the case, let me know so we can start putting it on the calendar.
We usually do it at the end of the year.
It would be the May 23rd one, though.
Yeah,
I think in the past you guys have done it in June,
Yes.
just because in May that it's
everything
really
is
That's
hectic
close.
and,
and graduation,
graduation.
Yes, but then when in June is it?
the
It
third
would
one.
be, the 3rd Monday in June is the 17th.
I think you guys are the fourth.
Are
not
we?
The third.
Oh,
I feel like we're
The fourth.
Oh, we're the
then June 24th it would be.
I will not be here. And now, again, and 2 meetings in a row.
Mhm.
Am I out for
Can
20
we
days?
move it to the 17th?
So when's the moment graduation, Ms. Sota, do you know?
When's Goldman's graduation? It is May 20,
No, maybe.
May 30th,
30th,
sorry,
okay,
May
we are
30th,
too.
Thursday.
Okay,
so June and May, it's hectic.
No,
Yeah, but I think we can move it up to June
Don't do
17th.
it.
If we can move it on.
do it in June.
June 17th.
Give everybody a moment to breathe.
If we could do it June 17th.
I think there's availability, I can check, it's just you're gonna have to rearrange the time
To,
So what time?
earlier.
it's earlier.
I think we're all okay. Earlier.
Okay.
We're out.
What, how early, how?
What are you doing?
What day is it?
June
Monday,
19th?
June 17th.
Monday, June 17th. Oh, yeah, we're not in school. I keep thinking.
No.
we're in school.
No.
You're right, you're right.
Can you do 4?
What time do you want, do?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a problem, just thinking of PDs, but
Do we do
what
4?
if I have,
No, I don't.
You can do.
we don't have
It
the,
just needs to be by 5:30, start by 5:30.
That's fine.
5:30 is fine? Yeah. Oh, no, oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
We can do it earlier.
Earlier, for us to be better.
I could
for-
do
I think
four,
we're
I
like
could do four,
early.
for
I was
They
Thursday.
don't get in till late.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like people are not staying till late.
Yeah.
Have
We're not
work
four.
over.
We're not four
they don't-
p.m.
I think we should even do it earlier.
And that's,
We
3:30?
can do it in the
yeah, 'cause that's
morning.
already almost
We can
10
do
days
it in the
after
morning.
school's out.
Yeah.
We're not. in school.
They're like,
Okay, so 4 p.m. on Monday the 17th.
what I said, so.
4 p.m. or 3:30?
No, I'm asking you guys, you
Okay.
guys.
I think that's.
4 p.m.
4 p.m.
3:30?
Late?
3 p.m.?
I can do 3.
I can do 3.
No, 3?
I can
June
do
Let's shoot for
17th?
3.
I'm saying, cause I think, like
17,
Jessica
3
said, you
p.m.
know, they're usually. So they don't have to stay as late.
Okay. I'll reconfirm with the town clerk's office and then I'll send you guys.
So what did we say, 3:30?
3, I thought we said
I
3.
thought you said
3, said
Okay,
3,
3
3 p.m.
So
and
I-
June 17th, Monday, June 17th.
Yeah, I did a reconfirm, but I'll send you guys an email.
And then our next meeting is May 23rd.
Yes.
Just a regular meeting.
So you can let us
Right
know,
before.
you can let us know about May.
When's the other one? I'm sorry.
About May 9th.
May-
There's another
Okay.
meeting on the 20th?
And that's like really important. This is like 2 weeks.
Josh, you're back the Lord.
Yeah, that's the next meeting, right?
And then you'll let us
But I'm
know
saying
about
right
May 9th.
before, if you guys are interested, 4:30 is the student that, and it's, pretty much chairs.
Okay.
Then you guys are student reps. Yeah.
Bye.
And then you'll send an email about May 9th in case we can start telling everybody about
May
this.
9th instead to change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other announcements?
And then I'll send you.
So you're gonna look into changing then the date?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll send you the layout. Um, If I have to order those little centerpiece decorations, do I just send you the Amazon?
Send me the link and I can order, so like that it's tax exempt and we charge it directly.
Like,
to
it's
them.
not more
Yeah.
than like 20.
Yeah,
I don't need to make a motion.
you guys had already agreed to a certain amount.
Okay, perfect. Any other announcements? No,
Everything, where are we getting the sodas?
we already got.
That's gonna be part of the Instacart.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm doing the same amount as they
Last
did
year?
last year. That's the gift.
Do one of each of the soda less.
Yeah, 'cause we had leftover.
Yeah, left, we have way soda left over, so.
And where are you getting the cake from?
Give that one.
Where are you getting cake from?
That was from public.
From Publix.
Okay.
Not from Biggie Baker.
Let's try to get some balloon arch estimates.
Yes,
I already
please,
sent
try to
you
get me
the
that.
I'm waiting.
So you can do that,
So good.
okay?
I'm waiting for it, but I know that they are very expensive unless you have your students, I don't have to do it.
We
And
have-
they can get it done.
Oh, I know a girl at Goldman, she's a senior, who started like 6 months ago, doing like a business like that, and she's probably a lot cheaper than.
I know.
Are you talking about Haley Menendez?
No, the one I know is Rosalind.
Oh, well, ask her and I'm about to.
Okay.
You can wait for her to get her business out.
Uh-huh.
Let's see.
We'll promote it.
Somebody.
So I call this meeting at 7:25. All in favor?
Hi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Bye, you guys. Bye.
Okay, so I'm gonna be sending the email with the awards tomorrow, right?
Yeah. All right, we are live.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Let's call meeting to order at 7:36. I'd like to welcome Julie Cabral. She's a new member. And she comes from Royal Point. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
Who's gonna call?
Madam Secretary.
It was entertaining.
roll?
Okay, let's go here. All members present? Okay. that's all. Renata Amato, Susanna Soriano,
Present.
Patsy
Not here.
absent. James Williams, let's see, Ellen Gonzalez,
Present.
and Nina Dabadi.
And you replaced James Kirk.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
There's no one for, Shimano was anchored, right?
Tiamana was Anchorage. We are still waiting for someone to
Replace.
replace. Mr. Chair, we do have one.
Do we have any deferrals, additions, or deletions? In the order of the business? Continuously. Okay. Do we have any public comments?
Would you like to make a public comment?
Yes, Maritza Quintana, 14820.
You have 3 minutes of
Yes,
public
sir.
comments.
Yes.
If you can, for the record, please state your name and your and where you live.
Maritza Quintana, 14820, Redness Place, Miami Lakes, Lake Cynthia.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm here because, in our entrance, at the gate entrance, I was wondering if we're gonna pressure clean it there because the curves are really black where the landscaping is. And the entrance is all black in there too, like dirty. I think it's been like 3 years last time they pressure cleaned that area there. I mean, we have a beautiful landscaping and that was my question.
That's that.
We have service that does the flowering, replanting once a quarter.
Sorry, I mean, late.
They come in and
No.
do trimming, replant,
Well,
the season. As far as the cleaning, what is it that do they do that as part of the service?
We can do pressure cleaning. You can absolutely go ahead and request for pressure cleaning in there. So
I can add that I know
What
that
extra?
when they repainted the lines. I don't know if I do. When they repainted the lines, they pressure cleaned at that point. Yeah, that was like 3 years ago. I lose track of time, but
I know that,
I think it was before you.
yeah, possibly it happened before I started, so I'll go ahead and absolutely go ahead and request
Do we need to get a
Do we need
quote?
a motion or just direct?
a quote. No, it's part of the budget. So we do have the ability to go ahead and do it. It's already included if we want to go ahead and pursue.
So do you just want direction from the board? or
Direction
is there
from
a
the
motion?
board.
No motion.
I think direction from the board would be for the purposes of having it in correctly, go ahead and if anybody wants to make a motion to go to use
So
the.
when we first, this is public comment, you just take a
Yeah.
comment and then
Oh, yeah,
we would add it to.
absolutely. Yeah, you're
Okay.
right. Sorry about that. Is there anyone else that would like to make a public comment? Would you like to make a public comment, sir?
Regarding those?
The NSDs, the Iron Lake Section 1? No, okay. Would you like to make a public comment?
I just wanted to
If you
be
can,
here in case you had any questions or if there's something you wanted me to cover. I
okay,
wasn't sure.
yeah.
You want to bring something particular up or.
There's no other public comments.
Public comment are closed. We're going to roll into old business. Approval of the minutes.
I haven't seen these. So. I move to approve the minutes.
You have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All against? One against. Motion passes. Security guard services update and report. Sir, you're on.
Wow.
John Transfer Professional Services. Provided JP with all the reports for the past quarter, which would cover January through March 2024. Completed a total of 80 reports for the quarter, including, these include the supervisor visits and the community patrol visits. And we continue recording the number of vehicles that are going through the entrance that we monitor. We have an average of 44,000 vehicles going through that arm gate per month. As far as discrimination, we provided a more detailed list that was agreed with JP. So we now have a more accurate count of which type of incidents are being reported that allows him to take action regarding any issues with the gate particularly. I also want to report that we implemented for all of the town of Miami Lakes guardhouses radios in addition to the phones. So we're using the phones now exclusively to capture pictures of all the inbound traffic. And the radios are used to communicate between all of the guardhouses with our security operations center 24/7. So that is also improving on communications with the officers. If they need to communicate something, they don't need to tie up the phone. That should only be used for purposes of capturing pictures. And the last is that at JP's request, we're also providing a weekly report on the status of all guardhouses when it comes to lighting or any other fixtures that may need to be addressed. So he has an up-to-date report regarding what needs to be done and make sure that we keep the guardhouse operation as efficient as possible. That's all I have.
Do we get copies of those reports?
Yeah, I could go ahead and send out the reports to you guys. I'll go ahead and by the end of this meeting, go ahead and send it out. It's 2 reports that he provides. One's an analysis report
And the other one is the analytics.
and the other one's an analytics report. And
Is there any way to get those reports before our meetings so
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
like we can review it and if there's any issues, we can bring them up while he's here?
100%. I will ask if you can, and I know this one you did send to me before, but for the future, within like a little bit, like maybe a couple days
Few
before.
days.
Yeah,
Sure. Absolutely.
so that way I can have them prepared to send out to them. So they can review.
I'll try to remind you also.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I have noticed is, I think you all have also noticed that the only instance that I have seen has been the exit arm a couple times. It's dramatically been reduced, the breakages and the problems. This new maintenance company, magnificent so far.
Yeah, we've since we've made the change with the maintenance company, you've seen a drastic change in terms of the amounts that they're breaking down. and the calls that I have to make for them to come out. It's really working out
The
well.
text that I have to send, that is ready.
And the one thing that I will say about this company in particular, I watch systems. The gentleman, the owner, Rayner, I want to give him his credit. He does a great job. If I call him for another gate harness, if I call him for, say, Royal Oaks,
Yeah,
he will try to make an effort to go to the other ones as well and pass by and see if there's any issues with them. So it allows, and then if he sees anything, he lets me know as well, on top of the, already the guards, providing information. So that really helps out to, keep them maintained and, for budget purposes, it's gonna help significantly.
so, not to be an ass, but I don't think I've missed any meetings. And I recall, my memory's not the best, but I recall at meetings, we were looking for that thing, we talked about maintenance and they were taking too long to come out. And I think that we were looking for, they call it procurement, you guys were putting up, and I never heard anything, so now to say, oh, this new company, in my head is like, when did this happen? I know we're just an advisory board, but when did this happen? I don't, am I missing something?
What did you
The
find?
maintenance people, it was one of the issues I kept bringing up saying, whatever contract we have is not working, because they would take them weeks to go out and repair. And I said, why can't we get a contract where, even if it costs more money to pay, where someone goes out, there's like 24-hour return, something like that. And if you were here, it's like, oh, well, we put one out, nobody came out, we're redoing, I think, I'm using your words, is procurement, or nobody's come back, we're working on that, and so from that last conversation to today, go, oh, the new company's doing really well, I'm like, where,
Well, I don't think they're under contract, right?
I'm just saying is what happened
It's a-
here? There's a missing,
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I brought it up a couple times, especially in the last meeting. We discussed it in the January
That
meeting.
we are using somebody new, but I don't think they're under contract. We're just using a different company to repair, and it's been working well at this point. I think down the list, we're talking.
I
maintenance
remember it
contract.
was, there was somebody who said, oh, maybe the handyman of the town can do it, and then they were like, oh, we can't, that person's already spread too thin, and then it was the town was putting out, getting contracts, like bids. And then all of a sudden now it's like, oh, this new company, which by the way that's fine. Where's the contract? Can I see the contract? Can we see the contract? Is there? And maybe, you said you saw a great improvement, that's great, but I like to see that, I want to see what they committed to, because did we change did we get apples for apples, or did we upgrade our apple? In other words,
It's not a contract. We don't have them under contract. It was a RFP. Don't quote me on what that means, because I don't remember right off the top of my head. Right, it's basically, they were, bidders, and they came at the lowest bid, but it's only to a certain amount. It's not a contract, and not under contract, they can only go up to 15,000 that we could use them. So once we reach that, we have to go to council. So this is just a temporary company that we're using. Obviously, things are looking good, and at some point we can go ahead and potentially use them in the future, for a longer period of time if we go to council and they win the bid, but,
that was never communicated here. I'm
If
so
it was a
sorry.
request for proposal. Companies,
request for proposal.
RFP is.
RFP, yes.
If companies made the proposals, a company has to be chosen.
Right.
And then a company has to be awarded a contract. I'm assuming that there were not enough proposals.
We received a proposal from the company that we had previously.
Okay,
We received a proposal from this company, Highwalk Systems, and we received one additional proposal.
and then I'm
The
just
other
curious,
proposal-
then as to what procurement process that the town used to select. Because But there has to be a contract.
Right.
You said it, you know what I mean? And-
Absolutely.
There
and-
may get some clarity.
But I think is, the conversation of this is happening to today hearing, oh, they're doing really well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
That's
let me,
what-
let me clarify something, let me clarify something. I apologize. We went for a request for proposal. We sent it out to 3 different companies, we only received 1 back. This was the company that we received back, iWatch Systems. So, yes,
So I reviewed my emails
Mhm.
before I came here because sometimes I'm lost too. But I received 2 proposals, one from Consolidated and one from iWatch.
what you're referring to is,
What is this? The quotes,
this was for what we discussed last
right?
time, which was to figure out the gate arm switch.
Okay.
So I
the
provided you with
switch.
this, with
Okay, so
the,
that hasn't been resolved yet?
well, no, that's, I provided that to you so you guys
Oh,
could make
okay,
a
so
decision.
that has nothing to do with
No,
what's going.
what she's discussing
Okay.
is
The repair.
the repair. and
Service
everything.
Okay.
Now, having said that, you're right. I need to do a better job of communicating. If I'm not communicating properly, then I need to do a better job, absolutely.
So what is there's gotta be something in writing, even if it's temporary.
Yeah, and I could go ahead and send that over to you.
But can I ask you, based on
Absolutely.
what is their commitment as to turnaround time when something's reported to them?
24 hours. I can provide it.
I like that. All right.
I will go ahead
You're
and,
barking up, you're barking, I like that, I like that. That was one of the issues I was pushing, because this is everybody's tax money for that one little section. And where that gate arm is up or down, there's a cone there not being functioning. It's affecting the 800 something homeowners that are behind that. So in my head is, that's what the money, the money that is, people are paying is to do that. So when a company takes a week or 2 or 3 to fix something, that's not a good thing. So I'm just saying, if you could share whatever you have from iWatch,
yeah,
and
no,
is there anything that us as an advisory board can do today to move forward, or are we looking for more bids, or where are we on that? Because you already said this is a patch, it's a temporary Band-Aid.
So I'm just gonna read to you, so that you're aware of, so, let me just put-
This is the switch, yeah, this is about the switch. But when he mentioned iWatch. Confused.
It's okay, JP, just if you can send us that. And that way we can review it and maybe
No,
have
no,
questions
I
for the
mean,
next meeting, but
Again, I apologize if I wasn't giving enough information. I don't wanna ever,
it's okay, we got it. We have a company called iWatch that's servicing our things right now, up to $15,000. There's no real contract. And I guess the question I have is, are we getting more bids, or what's the process so that we do in fact, because we have a meeting for budget, right? I heard
What was the
that
name of the company?
iWatch.
I watch systems.
Watch. The thing is, we have, the next meeting is the budget meeting, which, the email was very clear. We're meeting and we're to vote. But we're voting on the same day that we first see the budget. Yet I know this is gonna be a line item on there, but we have no, information about the maintenance company. So Helen, who promised herself she wasn't gonna ask questions, here I am again asking
Yeah,
freaking
and
questions.
what's up?
Yeah,
I can't stand it. And I'm not busting your chops, I'm just making sure that all of us here represent a bunch of other people that are not.
Scope of work, guard gate arm repair and maintenance services for the town's neighborhood service district, NSD security guard gates. Address for service sites, 8281 Balgoan Road, 15711 Turnberry Drive, 8206 Northwest 162nd Street, 8211 Northwest 168th Street, 1611 Northwest 79th Ave, and
That's
81.
everybody else, that's all the other.
West 167.
Oh,
Services to include hourly late rate of labor, quoted labor rate should be for one technician only per site visit. The provision of additional technicians will not be authorized unless specifically requested by the town in writing. Travel charges, a flat travel fee will be charged for each trip to the town of Miami Lakes, irrespective of the number of service sites visited within the town during a single trip. There will be no additional travel fees charged for visiting multiple locations within the town on the same trip. Material prices, all materials required for the service will be charged at wholesale or supplier distributor price with no more than 40% markup. This ensures fair pricing while covering the necessary cost of obtaining the parts. The town of Miami Lakes reserves the right to request a price match on any material if they find the exact material item at a lower price in the retail market. The policy is intended to ensure that the town receives the most cost-effective service without compromising on quality. And then I have the list of materials that would be go over. This
I'm looking for that 24-hour thing.
24 hours.
You told me 24-hour,
So
come on, call back or return, and I didn't hear that.
Service response time. The technician is required to inspect and provide necessary services within 24 hours of being contacted on weekdays. For service requests made after 5 p.m. on Friday or during the weekend, the technician must provide services no later than Monday afternoon.
Gotcha. All right, so.
And
I
they have
believe-
up to 15,000 that we have them
For the
under.
whole town or for
the whole-
our?
For the whole town. For the whole town. So this is a temporary thing.
Okay.
However, because here's the thing, this is the only way to move on from the company that we were discussing that was giving trouble. So I tried other companies. This is the one that we ended up on with this, and it's worked out well. So now we could try them out. And, once they've reached that 15,000 threshold, then at that point, we have to,
put them under contract.
well, not put them under contract. That's not necessarily how it
Okay.
works. We would, then have to go out to bid. Now, the reason why I apologize, the reason why I didn't send it out to you guys directly, because it's not really a Miami Lake Section 1 specific matter. This company works for all NSDs. It's not contracted for just Miami Lake Section 1. So as you see, I'm using them for all the locations. Having said that, at the rate we're going, we're gonna be able to use them a lot longer than I had even originally anticipated, because of the fact that the gate arms are breaking at a lot less rate. So if we can make it to, honestly, if we can make it to October, for example, then the new year starts and we could have maybe the same services from the same we do in other key.
So are we being charged, all the associations? I mean, are they billing you or?
Yeah, they bill us just as normal.
Okay.
Again, this is not a
Each
Miami Lake.
individual association?
Yeah, yes, so you bill on your budget, you have gate arm repairs as one of the line items.
We do.
Whenever I contact them to provide service for gates specifically in Miami Lake Section 1, it is billed out of yours.
Okay.
But I don't do a contract for each, like, if I had to do a gate arm repairs contract for each different guard, each NSD, it would,
I
it would
understand.
be, a lot.
So what we're talking about, I believe, really is agenda 5J. Gate arm maintenance contract update.
Well, we did it already.
Okay, but I'm not sure I have the answer to my question.
What's your question?
That's a temporary fix. You said 15,000 for all the gate arms and all the other sections of our town.
Correct.
And then, when we run out, then we'll figure out. In my head is, run out of the 15 and then figure out what we're gonna do. I think my understanding is we've always had somebody under contract. So I guess my thing is, what's the plan? Even though we are just an advisory board, do you know what's the plan?
Well, yes, I'm working to see if I can get a contract together to go out to bid for an actual contract. Remember, we did go out to bid and we didn't get anybody to come back. The only, when we went out to bid, I think, I want to say November or so, when we went out to bid that first time, We had one company come back and they wanted to charge us double what we were paying with the previous contract, so
Are they interested in the contract?
is this company? That's not really how it has to go through a bidding process.
Right, but are they interested in being one of those that would bid for a permanent contract, which is what she's looking?
I would have to, put it out to the general public and it's up to them. I can't really like,
Only
Well,
mentioning, if we're
yeah.
happy with them, they're doing well, it would
Yeah.
be a shame to lose them, because they're
So-
not.
100%.
But when is the bidding? I get you. We have to do the bidding. So we already tried November, we got nothing.
Well, we have time. We have time. currently.
When's time? We're in April, end of April.
Right, but we started this contract in February.
Okay.
We're nowhere near
The 15.
the 15,000. So we have plenty. Like I said, if we could get to the new fiscal year, then we could just do an RFQ again.
But,
We don't necessarily have to do a contract.
but to do that process is something that takes months. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong, but I haven't fully started the like I had already started, but I haven't started to the point of creating a full contract and putting it out to bid yet, because we do have time.
What's the target? What's that time? When do you think? I have no idea how much, for example, how much was maintenance of our arms bidded on our last budget, like for this year, the year that's ending now?
Mhm.
Our year is October to September, right?
Correct.
How much was it?
How much was their bid?
Yeah, how much was our line item for repairs? I have no idea.
On your budget.
I don't have it. That's,
This is something that we're probably gonna start, would assume something like in August, September, October,
I don't know.
3 months before.
So it says, we talked about this before. It's on our agenda. And all I'm asking is, I know we have time. You tell me, oh,
The price proposal for their RFQ came out to the total cost of item one, scope of work services, which item one I mentioned was, the services to include. That came out to $95. The cost of item two is $35.
no, but that's not the answer to my question. My question was, our budget from last year, the one we're currently here in the year that ends in September 30, what's our line item? How much did we budget for gate arm repairs and services? That way I can see in relation to this 15,000 that's for all the gate arms, how far, in other words, did we budget 15 on ours?
I don't remember.
And the town has 15 for all of them?
Right, I don't, but in this
No.
particular, and I find it in the odd anyway, the way this is made. But, the 15,000, they can just renew. I'm sure there are like one or two options to.
I apologize
Yeah.
for the miscommunication. That wasn't my intention.
No, you understand. I'm not saying that
You know, I just don't want you to think that I was,
No, never. We all
Yeah.
like you. And I actually, the whole town likes you. I saw emails about people saying how they like you.
I appreciate it.
So I have two questions on the table.
Let me
Number
give
one
you.
is, what was our budget? What was the line item that we budgeted for that kind of service, repairs and maintenance of gate arms?
A&M repairs and replacement for 2023, 2024. 8,000.
That's,
That is yours.
that is half of the 15 that's budgeted for,
But that's us, just us.
yeah,
So that
yeah.
you
Yeah,
understand.
plenty.
But the
so that-
15 he just said was for all the other sections as well.
Right, but you gotta take this into account. Overall, and none of this should concern you guys directly, but overall. The gate arm repairs for all the locations. Was roughly somewhere between 35 and 45,000. Okay, overall. You
So-
guys were going over on your budget. Always. We're probably.
Because everybody was running them over.
We were going well over,
I would
you
argue
were
they
going well over
they were
your,
fixing correctly. That's what I would argue. They weren't fixing it correctly, and then you would have
I got it.
multiple service plans.
So you can, so I, more to my point, if the town has a contract, temporary or otherwise, with the company I watch to repair the gate arms of how many other sections? Ours and like 5 or 6 other ones. And they have a total of 15,000 they can currently do without doing anything else. And then I'm saying, okay, well, when is this bidding gonna go out to get a contract, not a patch, but a contract that we know that we can rely on? you're like, we have time. And in my head is, I'm sorry, as much as I am here, government is slow. So you say time and you say something's gonna happen in July or August. This has to start now. If you're
But
talking.
this
something's gonna
contract for
start-
15,000 just started.
I understand, but. We're gonna wait for the town to eat the 15 and then we're gonna figure out, let's go do an RFQ, which needs someone to do it, then send it out and
We
there's a
could,
30-40 day, I
we
don't
could
know.
simply do another RFQ like we did
With the
this
same
time.
company.
What we could do, we open it up to multiple companies, and if they win the bid, then, you know, it's just a matter of doing another one.
That's my
No,
question.
but just going back.
When is the target?
No, but going back, my bet is, being a government employee for a long time, you just have options to renew, like you will not run out.
That's,
You
that's
have-
what we do a
So
contract.
you have an authorization, you don't have an allocation, you just have an authorization of up to 15. When that runs over, you just,
So I guess the answer to the update of the maintenance contract is, we don't have one, we have a temporary one for the whole town to do all the ones of all the gate arms everywhere. And sometime in the future, we're gonna put out a request for bids again.
Correct.
We don't know when.
I
don't know.
we can ask you to come back with that info. and
I
guess
can
you-
come back to that info as
what
far
is
as if you
procurement
want a
info?
direct timeline. I have, I
Or at
just,
least what their target
we
date is.
just recently finished, like I said, the RFQ. A little over a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. So, you know, we have time, so if you want a specific
Or at
time
least
frame,
what
something
the
and push
target,
it forward, I
There's
could.
gotta be some sort of target date. It can't be like, oh, ran out of money, now what do we do? I don't think the town runs that way. And I'm just saying is, I'm hearing, this all started with, oh, the new company's doing really well, like, where did that happen? That's why this conversation.
No,
So
I
will-
get it,
won't- we
I
bet-
get
we
it, but
bet
I'm pretty
the-
sure I
the
brought them
horse
up already, in the last meeting,
Okay,
um.
I'm gonna go back to B, which is where we should have been, which is security guard services. And we somehow got
Think about it.
completely off
I
with,
put that under that item. but
no, it should
It should
be
be
5J
J,
is what we were
right.
just talking
I
about.
just put it on. there.
And I don't wanna bust your chops, JP. I got what you're saying. I appreciate it. If you could just give us a timeline as to what the town is thinking of to get contracts, that's great. I'm gonna go back to B, which is security guard services, updates and reports. So in the last meeting, because I'm looking at our minutes, we had talked about, hold on. The possibility or seeing if anybody had an appetite with the other association, trying to like, let's call it sharing a second guard. With the roving, we said we were gonna, we really didn't take direction, but it was like, we're gonna get information. Our friend from SFM said he thought it was a viable option. I'm looking at the minutes. And motion passed, which was to request this board to explore a roving guard system to be shared with other 4 security guard systems. Yeah, the motion passed, so it was
Did
just
not
basically,
pass,
it did pass.
didn't pass, you opened it for,
It says 4 members voted affirmatively, 1 no. That's a pass, isn't it?
motion
I think it was one of those for yes men, no, and.
seconded by,
Yeah.
by Soriano, 4 members voted affirmatively, 1 no. Okay,
The motion was to have staff share requests from this board
yeah,
to
which we,
explore a roving guard system to be shared with other 4 security gate systems.
you went to the
Pass.
next meeting, with Royal Oaks, and it was discussed in that meeting. And as mentioned to you in that meeting, and then as mentioned to you in the meeting here, in January. That is a breach of your ordinance. You would have to go out to bid. Not to go out to bid, you have to have the entire community vote to change the ordinances.
It's a new service.
Because it's a brand new services. You would no longer be Miami Lake Section 1, you would be a new form between Royal Oaks and Miami Lake Section 1. And you would need their input to agree onto that.
We could lawyer it up and say that that's not what it means, but it will.
No, the question is, this minute is from October.
Mhm.
Are you telling me there's a minute, we had a meeting in January?
Helen, you went to the meeting, do you not recall that you sat in that chair and gave a public comments for Royal Oaks? You sat right there
Yeah,
for Royal Oaks.
and that's not what this says.
Well, we were not,
You asked me to look into it and I just gave you the answer and we talked about it in that next meeting.
Well, that meeting had nothing to do with this board. I attended the board, we did a public comment, there were some people that talked about it, but that's one of the. I don't know how many different, there was more than one association. To do so, and the motion that we did, and I'm staring at here, I just said it passed, and you said it didn't pass. And I don't, am I wrong? Motion by Ms. Costa to have staff share a request from this board. Staff, that's not me.
My
Staff
apologies,
is-
the one that I
staff is
was reading,
town.
the one that I was reading was the motion about the 24/7 protection.
I'm reading the one above it.
Okay, that's my.
It was to
that
have
the wrong-
staff, that staff, it would be you or someone else.
Mhm.
Request from this board to explore a roving guard system to be shared with the other 4 security gate systems. It was seconded, 4 voted affirmatively, that's 4 yeses, and 1 no, so that motion passed.
Okay.
And I guess we are on our current agenda, we are on security guard services, updates and reports, and I'm asking, can we get an update on that motion from October?
Sure, I will give you the update. The update is you can decide as a board to vote on it. And then it would go to council and then you'd have to change the ordinance. To become a second, you'd have to get the approval of yourselves and the approval of another community. To create a mega NSD. Between yourselves and Royal Oaks.
I think the motion was for staff to share this with the other security gate systems.
Which we did in the next.
Not just the one that I attended, that was only one of the 4. Were the other 3 people ever?
There's only one other advisory, there's only one other advisory, NSD, the one that you went to. As far as, security gates,
So it's
you have
section
Royal
1.
Oaks,
Okay.
you
Royal
have
Oaks.
Miami Lake Section 1,
And
and you have, Loch Lomond. Loch Lomond
Yes.
already has roving vehicles, they pay for it themselves.
Okay,
The question that you had was not for other, it was specifically for Royal Oaks. You went to the meeting, I was in the meeting, we discussed it in that meeting. In that meeting, they said that they were not interested in joining into a mega NSD. And again, as I stated before, even if they did, and even if you all did, you would have to take it to the entire community to vote on this. It cannot simply be the board that makes that decision. You would have to change the actual ordinance. Not just change the ordinance, you would have to change what you created to become an NSD in the first place.
So basically, we went to the other one that was the only one that was available to us. They shot it down, so we're done, right?
I don't remember that, because I do remember JP is, I'm a public comment. I was not an agenda item. So I had a public comment. Which kind of ensued a little bit of discussion, but there was never. So I just want to be clear, that you just said, they said no, and I'm like, that's why I kind of made a face, I was like,
Okay, let me.
But it's okay, I
No,
get it.
that's fine. You want to be specific, I completely understand. I completely understand where you're coming from. Specifically, they did not decide to make a vote. They didn't vote on it. There was no-
They wouldn't entertain it. Are you?
There was no motion, there was no nothing.
They unofficially said no.
okay,
Well,
so they didn't express any interest?
They-
That's accurate.
They didn't.
okay. So the
Give it the
update
time
would
of
be
day.
is, they didn't express an interest, and even if they did, you're informing us that would require us to. Kind of redo this whole ordinance, put it for a vote on everybody, it would create, instead of section 1, it'd be like one major. Royal Oak / section 1 thingamajig.
Assuming that everyone agreed, assuming that.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Assuming that both communities, all 3 communities, because Royal Oaks NSD is really 2 communities. It's Royal Oaks East and Royal Oaks West. Assuming that both those communities and yourselves all voted yes, then yes, it would be possible and you could move
Okay.
forward.
Then I go back, because we're still under security guard services, and I'm always gonna ask the same question. The ordinance says we're supposed to provide unmanned person 24/7,
Man,
man,
Yeah,
staff. The way that things are currently done during break time and lunchtime or whatever, it's not staffed, correct?
correct.
And have there been any great creative ideas since our last meeting from your side as to how we can bridge that gap so that we do in fact have 24 hours, 7 days a week staffed in person, standing at that guard?
Well, then we-
Hold on, let him answer, please. Sorry.
I'll share with you what has been done. What has been done is that the Royal Oaks East and Royal Oaks West communities have decided to allow the security officers to change their lunch breaks from a scheduled time to a non-scheduled time, meaning that the officers will take their lunch break whenever they see that there is a reduction in the number of vehicles going through the arm gate. And they will stop their lunch to attend the arm gate, complete the procedure, and then return to their lunch. So naturally, the lunch time will be extended because they will not have their 30 minutes at once to complete this process, but they'll have to do it in periods where there are gonna be multiple interruptions to this process.
And with that,
And that only covers the lunch break. Because naturally, when it comes to the restroom breaks, that we cannot anticipate.
To simplify that, they eat while they work.
is that something new since our last meeting, or is that? from
That
before?
is something new since our last meeting, but that is not something new per se. Because when SFM started providing security services to town of Miami Lakes, that was the way the guard gate would operate. Now, we decided on the lunch breaks because it was felt that that would give officers a more controlled parameter as to when to start and when to end. However, the other communities felt that it was also providing the public at large advice as to when the officer was not gonna be on duty.
Right.
And that allowed them to go in and out freely. Moreover, I believe, town deputy council participated in that meeting. And he indicated that the automatic mechanisms that were suggested to operate the gate were against the ordinance. Because the ordinance requested specifically for manned security services, not for sentinel. Which is the automatic function of the.
So at the last meeting, you just, I believe, this is off memory, that you had said that Loch Lomond had that where they kind of eat through their lunch and all that, and we tried to do the motion failed to do it on us. Then you said since then, we were telling us is that Royal Oaks now implemented like a,
No.
No.
Loch Lomond doesn't do it that way. Loch Lomond has a scheduled lunch because they have a rover. And the rover provides a lunch break so that guard gate is operated constantly.
okay. So I guess the question goes back to you is, since our last meeting, have there been any great ideas as to how we can man our gate 24/7?
To clarify, because I think your question was with regards to Royal Oaks. Royal Oaks their board voted for the guards to eat while they work. So they no longer have 30-minute lunch breaks. They now are providing full 24/7 because no guards are eating during.
Well, but bathroom breaks.
It's always gonna be tough to be perfect as far as 24 hours. You know, at the end of the day,
No,
these guards do need to be able to use the restroom.
I disagree. I think 24/7 means you have to have somebody there 24/7. Whether they're at lunch or whether they're in break. And I know that up to now, the only way that we've come up with is, well, you need a second person. So that when the person has to go to the bathroom or the person has a lunch, you have the replacement person. It's not that it's impossible. There's a lot of places in this country that need 24/7 man in the front. So the alternative of, hey, while they're in the bathroom, hey, while they were there in lunch, which still doesn't answer the ordinance that says 24/7. Because I think that's why I keep asking SFM, have you come up with an alternative of how we can have 24/7 there? Because even that eating through lunch doesn't really solve our 24/7, because you have bathroom. Right?
Correct.
So absent a second person. Is there a possibility to get a second person, I'm gonna call it fractional, like X amount of hours a day to fill in those? Is that a possibility?
Of course it is. However, the problem with the fraction is that we're not gonna be able to put a schedule to that fraction. Because unless we can control the security officer's bowel movements, it's gonna be nearly impossible to determine when that second person is needed.
No,
I mean, I'm being as candid as I can
No,
about this.
me
And,
too.
and what I can qualify regarding what we're gonna be doing at Royal Oaks is that this is gonna be a trial period of 30 days. While we test this new system to determine whether or not residents feel that that is something that is in their best interest to move in this direction.
So I'm not in Royal Oaks, is that a recurring complaint that they have too, that the gates are unarmed? Unmanned?
Yes,
That's a recurring complaint.
yes.
When did your 30 days trial thing start?
Starts on the 18th.
It's going to start. It started,
Started
or started, a couple days ago.
4 days
Gotcha.
ago. yes.
Okay. So I guess we can get an update at our next meeting, just to see how they feel about it.
Correct.
All right, going back to you said the town said no to that.
I'm sorry, can you just give me one moment? I'm being told that it's not online.
Thank you, watching.
It says we're live.
Can I resume? Or no?
Give me 1 second. Please let me record from my computer. We are taking the minutes at least, so I think that should be. Okay,
We need to make sure. So we had discussed,
go ahead, sorry.
I'm gonna call it mitigating. That during the lunch breaks or bathroom breaks, that maybe there was a switch. Is that what you're referring to, that town said no, not allowed? Not to replace the arm, I'm just saying,
I spoke with the town deputy attorney and I was told that that would be breaking the ordinance.
I'm sorry, what were we breaking doing?
At the
switch.
this gate arm switch where it would make it automatic.
Okay.
Whenever the guard goes to the bathroom or takes a lunch break, that would be a breach of the ordinance.
But I
Isn't
think
a breach of, I'm so sorry.
I want to make a point though, to follow your theory.
Go ahead, say what you're, I
Your
want to
theory
say, I have
of
something
of
to
the
say.
24/7.
Uh-huh.
If we are breaking the ordinance on the 24/7, then we can break the ordinance in every single other item.
Well, that was my point, is if putting the switch, by the way. If the switch was just to mitigate during the lunchtime or bathroom, instead of leaving the arm completely up. Right?
Mhm.
The switch would be the arms down and I guess it would only go up and down as you approach, right? You said there's the blazer beam or something, the cheaper version, the $1,000 option. It was not to replace the security guard. It was not for the guard to go take a break and go to nap. It was only for his lunchtime or bathroom break. That instead of the arm going up, it would appear for, let's call it the burglar, right? The person that shouldn't be coming in, that at least they see the guard down, oh shit. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, it would be breaking the ordinance, but we're already breaking the ordinance because we don't have a 24/7.
I completely hear your point.
Can we bring Deputy Town in here and let's have a powwow?
I think that, and I would make a motion, we would like to have a written opinion from the deputy attorney on this particular issue.
just so you're aware, I've already requested a written
Okay.
opinion,
We want a written, so can we,
So,
then we can then. argue.
even prior to this meeting, because this system wouldn't just be for you all, it would be for another NSD.
So we want it in writing, and he will have to see where in the ordinance that says that. We cannot do that.
So, once I have that information, I will go ahead and share it.
So we don't need to do anything, you already have.
Going back to security guard. I personally made a few complaints during that, since the last meeting. The primary complaint is, which at the point I got a little probably sarcastic, it's just my nature, because it wasn't the first time, it's like, there's gotta be post orders that the guard comes in and whoever comes in puts their name, and when they leave, they need to take their name off, because the Luisa Chavaria, she never takes her name. Her name is, my head is like, oh, she's always on guard, and she's not her, because it's always a gentleman. I know there was a few, I don't know, days or week where there was like 10 people coming in and out, but I think it still requires, if I'm coming in, I think me or anybody coming in, we should know who that guard person is. They don't wear badges. It's like, you can't tell what their names are. We're going by a piece of paper that's on there. And I received the apology and that's great, but I'm just saying is, what has that SFM done, if anything, to make sure that this complaint, because it's been a recurring complaint, right? I praise you guys. Huge difference from 3-4. So I'm not here to say you guys are really, but it's a simple thing that I think, well, if you can't follow simple things, when you're gonna get a more complicated thing, less likely a guard's gonna follow it. So I always say is, if you can't do the simple things, you're more likely not to do the more complicated things. What has SFM done to kind of ensure or instill the wrath of on the guards to make sure that the nameplate is always there?
Well, it is a fairly routine thing that happens in every shift. And naturally, we have supervisors that go and visit the guardhouse fairly frequently. And part of their inspection is to ensure that they're going to be utilizing the correct nameplate. We're obviously using progressive discipline when it comes to addressing these issues with our security officers. And, you know, the point of quality control comes into play when we identify these deviations. But realistically, other than identifying this deviation when there's a site visit, we can't do anymore because we're not able to determine beginning of the shift whether or not that officer placed his correct name on that exterior banner. We have the radios, and what we're also doing is at the beginning of each shift is that we're reminding officers to please put their correct name. And we're also reminding them at the end of the shift to turn the lights off when it comes to, you know, finishing their shift early in the morning. And we've also received complaints about officers not turning the lights on at night. So whenever we're reaching sunset, we're also reminding them that it's time to turn the lights on, so that they receive reminders throughout the day about the importance of keeping those signs up.
Right, thank you.
And that was something that we put together between myself and George as far as the checklist. Having a checklist to go over every day, every time they come into their shift. These are the things that you have to address. And the same thing with the walkie-talkies. That was something that we discussed thoroughly to assist in communication. And it allows us to have that communication not only with one guard. So if I tell if the word goes out to one guard about something, hey, we need to, a gate arm is broken, we need to put the cone in front of it. at least that reminder, everyone receives the same message. It becomes in their head, hey, when the gate arm breaks at my location, I need to put the cone out, or, you know, change whatever it is, the message that is sent, everyone receives it, so everyone's on the same page.
Was a walkie-talkie an SFM investment or a town investment?
SFM is paying for it, and it was in a meeting that we had to discuss how we could improve the communication.
Thank you. Okay, I'm finished.
Thank you. Next item.
Next item. Access card update.
Access card update, 423 cards, down from 426 cards last time. So,
Wow,
Ding, ding, ding.
good, good.
What did you do? Okay. Thank you.
So those are the ones that are left
Yeah.
still.
Well, the whole thing is, the more
Uh-huh.
people that have the card and go through the two resident lanes, they would have less traffic on the visitor lane.
Chairman, there is a new gentleman that entered, and we may have others that want to ask for a public comment. Would you be okay with, that I'm leaving it up to you guys about?
Well, introduce myself, Terry Murphy, I live in,
Okay.
8346 Dundee Terrace.
I apologize.
We have none to that.
I'm not.
Would you like to move to open public comments up?
Oh, not necessary.
Okay.
I think he won.
Maybe, can we go through the agenda and then
Yeah.
come in and open it?
Let's
Because
go to the back, to the back end.
100% we can,
Okay.
I want to hear him.
Okay, well, LPR update.
I sent an email to you all, letting you know that, they installed, the LPRs. I'm sorry, I was thinking about the speed humps right now. The LPR update, I looked into, if there was any issues with the cameras based on the lighting. That was one of the questions that you
Right.
brought up last meeting. We looked into it. There are no issues at all with regards to lighting for the LCRs. They have infrared illuminators. So they actually see clear as day in darkness. They actually see better in darkness than maybe during light.
The other question I had was the outgoing one with the tree. It's not being.
Not an issue at all. I checked with PD and that's not an issue at all.
Okay.
And we get all three lanes, all three incoming.
All
and
three
the one
lanes,
coming out?
everything's being covered.
Okay, and we got it.
And also, there have not been any additional reports of LPR hits at this month since January, so.
Speed up updates.
This is what I was referring to. So I sent an email to you all.
I'm gonna interrupt. We really, really did not celebrate what the LPR did already for our community. We didn't have a meeting since that email,
That's correct.
and I'm gonna take a minute, because I think I was one of the champions of that, and say, I don't know the whole details, because I know it's like investigation, whatever,
Mhm.
but I knew a little bit about what it was about, and I'm just saying, I don't know what could have happened, but it could have been me, you, my mother, my brother, my cousin, I don't know who, and I think that we, one bad guy's off of our community, so I'm just saying, to me, it was worth all the effort and time and pain in these meetings and in front of the town to get the LPRs, at the entrance of our community. My understanding was, because I kept asking questions like, why did anything else hit? And I now understand why. I'm not gonna say it on the recording, but I think had it not been for our LPR where it is located, this would not have been a hit that they would have caught inside our gate. So that's all. We can go back.
I think not wrong thing.
I will know that by herself.
Speed humps. So the order was placed on March 20th for speed hump. It's on back order currently. But the delivery is expected to be on the third week of May. And installation, I would expect to be sometime between the last week of May and the first week of June. once we receive it, because it's being delivered on the third week of May by the time we receive it.
You
Give it
refer
a
to
week
it
or
as,
so.
you refer to it as speed humps.
It is a speed hump,
Not a bump.
not a
Not
bump.
a problem. Okay. The difference being,
I think the difference being, the size of, speed hump
Is, yeah, that it really is higher than bump. This is a lot.
Yeah.
smaller.
So,
okay,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
We've been in my community,
Hmm.
always getting complaints with people flying down Balboa, even though they reduced the speed to 25. Is there a contact that we can email the town and say, we're interested in the humps that they have them in Dundee Terrace, right?
Mhm.
I will send an email, to Omar Santos, the Director of Public Works, to see if we could add you to the speed study.
I'm gonna jump on him. And on our HOA in the last, I would say probably 45 days. I have literally received, I think it's 3 or 4 different residents also speeding down Glencairn Terrace and Glencairn Road.
Okay. Is it just those two locations?
That's, I can speak.
So
for
give me
my
the addresses
association.
again.
Glencairn Terrace and Glencairn Terrace and Road.
Well, the speed limit is 25.
yeah,
You can have it at 15.
Balgoan Road, even if the speed limit was 5, they would still go.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
oh, I know.
And what was your location?
Balgoan Road, the main,
Oh, just
Yeah.
Balgoan, the regular.
the
The
main.
ones
main
who
one,
want to
which is
be
where we
the
are.
gate, they just go, like, if they're going, I don't know, where it's in a hurry.
So the.
Okay, so I'm gonna send an email to the Director of Public Works to see if we could add those two locations to the speed.
so the Balgoan is there, but Breckness is inside a little bit more.
Right.
We have it on, in front of our community.
You do.
Speeders?
Speed
Oh, no,
bumps.
bumps? Bumps?
No, we
No,
don't
no,
have,
no.
But we have them in Dundee Terrace.
no, we don't have pumps. We have
We have
speeders.
So to be clear, the hump is
Okay,
going to be one hump in the visitor.
One hump in the
Entrance.
visitor room. That was what was.
And I'm
was
assuming
approved
that
by the
where they
council.
put the hump, is there some sort of calculation of math where you put it where it's not too close? I am assuming.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm putting it here, okay. I have a question, because after we voted on that and all that, I forgot where I was or who I was talking to. And they were talking about, there's something else. It's not a hump or a bump. But I'm gonna try to describe it. It's sort of like a bunch of smaller little bumpy, like a lot, like little pebbles. It's like a bigger area, sort of like a. So your tires will.
Vibrate, the car vibrates.
No, not to vibrate. I don't know what you call it now. I totally blank. It, because there was this big argument about the humps and it's gonna damage the this and the that. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. But they proposed and said, why don't you guys consider and but it's like, let's say a rectangle, a bigger rectangle, instead of being one thing, it's a bunch of little ones. Like, let's say like you're going on a.
As a reminder to slow down.
La calle en
Yes.
España, how do you think the,
So the speed calming, things.
like yeah, I don't remember what you call it, but anyways.
I'm gonna throw some rocks on the road and
No, but
slow down.
But again, this is a hump. So the argument that it's gonna damage your car, it's nonsense.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what you have, which is very low,
okay,
okay, for the fire department to be able to go over it. It's just, you're just gonna make you slow down just slightly so you don't go crazy and.
You guys don't want spikes?
Yeah, I do. But we could, Alan, we could ask in the speed study if they can come back with other than just the hump.
I think they determined,
What other
I could be
options are
wrong. I could be wrong, but I think based on the speed study is they determine if they are gonna put something or
What type?
what type of
Deterrent.
deterrent they put. So I don't think it's by choice. Hey, we're gonna put a speed hump here versus, what you're referring to. I know what you're talking about. It's like a little rough road per se.
I was gonna say like bigger pebbles, like if you
Yeah.
threw a bunch of pebbles, but it's not really a pebble, it's.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. I think it's based on the speed study is how they determine.
And,
what
and,
those
and
are.
just to be clear, we don't control any of these roads. This is just a question as to how, who can we, as communities, reach out to in the town?
That's a
'Cause-
county road.
Because we only control from the beginning of the little island to the end of the little island where the guardian
Mhm.
house is.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Crime report update.
Unfortunately, the director
I saw
of
that, yeah.
Miami-Dade Police has made us aware that we are to no longer provide those reports. The way that, it's not that you can't get the reports, it's you have to go through the proper channels.
You have to pay for it, as a public records request.
You have to do a public record.
By the way, that guy's running for sheriff, so you know who not to vote for.
You actually have to pay for it?
If you for public records.
Because I
request, yeah.
went ahead and submitted, like you asked me to.
Yeah, he tried it
I
out.
tried and haven't gotten an answer.
Oh, even
They
better.
used to send them all the time.
When they do, they tell you how much you have to pay.
Is there some sort of ordinance
Yes,
that
yeah.
everybody was breaking? Is that why? Or is it just a
So.
new sheriff in town and making?
He's not a sheriff yet.
I know.
We have an
that was-
officer.
I just
No,
asked.
it's just our director, we have a new director, right? And she's a stickler for rules, there's nothing wrong with that. And then, so if you want the information, in order to bypass that, I suggest that JP invites a detective, Tom Wine Lakes, that can literally give you verbally.
Well, actually, it was not from Stephanie. It was not from the director of, it's from the commander.
Mm-mm. It was from the commander, it was from the cap commander. It was from Major Gonzalez.
Right.
Through the director, because that was the orders that were given to him above him.
But don't they make the reports regardless?
Yeah, but it's not distributing them.
Is the
The change
distribution
is
a
the
problem?
distribution,
Yeah,
Yeah, the detective right there. so-
Yeah, so as our major mentioned, it was an existing rule and our chief, just kind of reminded us that, we're not to provide the written report, but I can, come to your meeting and provide you with the information verbally. Definitely it can be always a public records request. The cost is very minimal. And also I can provide JP with the link to our public records request, where there's also some digital crime mapping that you can just click a couple of clicks and you can see a lot of information that you might find helpful or might answer some of your questions. But I'd be happy to come to your meetings and provide you with the statistics and that kind of information.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Do you have anything to share? Anything behind that gate?
Is that, oh, regarding the specific questions?
No. this is general.
Nothing, nothing just specific, it's, everything in that area is pretty much a nice area, nothing much. I didn't have the stats ready for today, I just kind of popped in, so otherwise I wouldn't have the page in front of me.
So not
but
like no armed
as far as-
robberies
no,
or
nothing-
rapes
no,
or
nothing at all,
murders?
nothing at all like that, and I have all the other stuff assigned to me, and things are nice and quiet in my section one.
Okay.
Of course, the map that you referred to, is that an app or just a
No,
link on the
it's-
website?
It's a link
Okay.
to our public records request, mandate, this public records request, and I'd be happy to send it to JP so he can forward it to you all. And there's it's actually, I think, crimemapping.com, and the link is within our public records request page.
Thank you. By the way, they're called rumble strips.
rumble, I was ready to rumble. That's-
Rumble or rhomboid?
Rumble,
Rumble strips.
rumble. So they're like, there's several, and so you, it goes,
Yeah,
it's not a
it's
big
going-
bump.
Yeah,
It's a
Rumble what?
rumble strips.
Strips.
I think they're on the turnpike, if you want to Orlando on the side, on the breakdown line.
But again, that's not,
Yeah, sort of like if you guys fall asleep and you go over.
That-
it.
that-
yes,
Is that
that's right.
Oh, that's correct.
again, this wouldn't be guardhouse related though. This
No.
would just be, I'll have him put in for the speed study, but it's not something that we could,
Right.
you know. vote on.
No.
right?
No, it's a commentary,
Well,
conversation.
well, I think that we went forward on the speed hump on the first lane. And we were gonna try it out and see if there was any change before we would possibly discuss moving forward and adding them on the other ones, and I heard a lot of pushback from other people about the humps. I don't know if a hump and a bump is better, but I know that I've been sitting on this advisory board long enough that we were sick and tired of, and when we heard the reports were, and SFM came on with reports and saying so many hits, so, why the thing was down, because we're not there, and we heard the reports, and there was a lot of gate arm down because people would hit them. Because they were trying to time it, because it is slow now, so our thing was is, what can we put down and make the people that don't slow down, kind of encourage them a little bit more to slow down and avoid hitting those things, and that's why in my head, it's like, maybe the rumble thing is something that's not so offensive, but I get it, I just wanted to tell you that.
I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. But I could definitely say there is a huge decrease in, and this is without the speed hump. The speed hump hasn't been installed yet. There's a huge decrease in
I was
And
the
thinking
amount of
all
cars
the time.
going, crashing into the gate arms.
Yeah.
And the one that would be hit the most was the exit lane. Not the visitor lane, it was the exit lane. And we've seen a decrease in that one, for sure. So,
And they changed the speed limit recently, or,
25. 30,
but
25.
recently, not that
No.
recently.
2 months ago? 3
2 months ago, okay. Well, maybe people are paying attention.
Okay,
Did you hear us a few minutes ago about speeding?
landscaping update.
flowers were changed in April. I'm sure you've seen the colorful flowers that are looking very nice out there. They will be updated again in August
Where is it?
because they're being updated in, I'm sorry, because they're being updated in August, they would be August, September, October. So they would be updated again in November. And again, I will make sure that they're updated before
Before
Thanksgiving.
things. Absolutely.
Where do we want the pressure cleaning motion to be done? New business or there or?
It's up to you.
I think it probably, I don't know. It might be here or in I,
Yeah, why don't we just make it now?
go for it.
I'll make a motion to pressure clean the curbing and the area, our area,
Guardhouse, right?
the guardhouse. Do we have a second?
Second,
All in favor?
I,
Oh, yes. Motion passes. Moving on. Alternatives for unmanned guard gates update.
it pays to come.
Yes, it does.
We discussed that already, right?
Yeah, that's been taken care of, correct? Alternative to unmanned guard that we were looking at an opinion.
Yes, that was discussed earlier.
Guardhouse remodel and update.
You saw that, Madam Secretary? Well, we talked about earlier.
I
really,
am
falls
moving
under
everything I
H.
wrote, I'm just kind of
There you
pasting
go.
down. Thank you. We're not going through all that again.
Guardhouse remodel.
I don't have any, we may have just slightly touched on it last meeting, but there was no recommendation from you all as far as remodeling or anything.
Hey.
If you'd like to provide me with some,
Well, we've talked, I've mentioned that, yeah, we would like for it to look better, not like an outhouse.
We had
But-
like 2, 3 meetings ago, this
Yeah.
room got full. And one of the one of the ones that was repetitive was the look of the house. I think that's when the town had passed about the reserves and the straw ballot. And I think that we discussed, somebody was doing remodeling and I think we asked to see, can we see what,
And they sent us some, rendering.
Royal Oaks, both Royal Oaks East and Royal Oaks Section 1 remodeled their guardhouses, 4 guardhouses total. I want to say that each one was approximately 15,000. What they remodeled was, they, I have the list, I can, give me-
Did we get the revenue?
Oh, it wasn't for the paint color that we got.
I don't know, I don't have my memory says I don't remember seeing it, but that doesn't mean we didn't get
Well,
them.
wasn't it shut down, then it went back to council people and they said, anything large.
No, but I think that's where we were getting clarification from JP as to maintenance or upgrades or, I don't know, if you could talk to us about what needs the vote of everybody versus what doesn't need the vote of everybody versus what these other communities did, just for us an idea. I'm gonna add one thing. I remember at that meeting, which was several meetings ago, we talked to SFM because of the positioning of our door and requiring the guard, like, there's no other alternative, like, is there a different positioning of that if we remodel them, maybe change the way the guard would have access to the outside, but we also talked about our house is here, the gate is here, so for them to see the tag, there was like a logistics issue, and then we kind of, I think we were looking at, we left off where, what was the town doing? What's it really need for us to move forward? It is a remodel including, in other words, that doesn't look like an house, but changing
And then the
The
guard
door.
will see from the window rather than having to.
right, that kind of stuff.
They do.
Is that something
They
that
just say
takes
it.
a vote? Can you explore, can you expand and tell us, or explain, or refresh?
I would say that would be a capital improvement, just from my understanding. If you're wanting to move the door from where it is, that's no longer, that's not a repair, so you're aware, in October, the council voted to, basically anything that is considered a capital improvement, anything above 1 cent, basically has to be voted by the entire community.
Yep.
You guys would vote on it, then it would go to the council, and then once it goes to the council, it would go to the community, and then back to the council.
Well, yeah, and then they haven't decided exactly how the community is gonna.
They have
vote.
not yet decided how that's gonna take
So it could
place.
be online, you vote online. or whatever.
Right,
So, but.
and I've been kind of trying to look at, see if there's any, I've been trying to do research on, to see if there's any other NSDs, not in the town, but or like special taxing districts throughout Florida, and if they have anything like that. I haven't found anything yet, so I'm still looking.
But we could ask for, somebody to look at it and make in the budget, we can put, for an architect to provide renderings of how it could be improved.
I think we discussed that. I don't
We
think we
did,
made
yeah,
an
we
action
haven't
item.
asked.
But just because it needs to
Aesthetically,
go
it's
for
fine.
vote of the community, to me, that's not a deterrent not to move forward.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sure nobody's gonna vote.
there's a lot of things.
So let's get.
There's a lot of things, like, she came and said, oh, I just came to complain. I said, well, sometimes that works, right? If you complain and we pass an action item. At the end of the day, is all of us, there's 20,000 things going on in our head. But just because it would have to go to vote of all the community owners to see if we remodel, I'm not opposed to it. My question is, does that vote go out like, hey, do we need the community's permission for us to take steps to get information
No,
on to remodel, like renderings, taking into account the positioning of the house and the changing of the door? Number one is to provide what this is all about. This is for security guard services.
Yeah.
That's what this is why we're here. So if the positioning of the door or the positioning of the house is not optimal, what can be done, not just to make it look pretty, but to make it more functional, to accomplish what this whole ordinance is all about? I'm in, but I don't know the steps.
what kind of direction will we have to give you in order to get something?
So I guess this is something that you guys could discuss now, maybe to discuss how you'd like to proceed for the next meeting, which is the budget meeting. If you want to allocate funds for architecture work or things of that nature, this is a good time to discuss that so that it could be, if you were to decide that, so that I can mention it to the budget officer to include that in
Okay, so,
upcoming budget.
so what's the motion? What kind of, help me with the language of the
The
motion.
motion would be that, to request. We would like to request renderings that address all the deficiencies that this particular structure has right now.
I'll second that motion.
So,
And the deficiency can be identified. An architect looks at it and say, hey, this thing. needs to
but
be
you're
done.
talking just from an, okay, so
Not aesthetic.
you're just talking from an aesthetic standpoint.
No, we're talking about practical.
No, functioning and aesthetics.
Right, but I guess my question is, so to give you an example, Royal Oaks East and Section 1, they didn't just do a they changed the toilets, they changed, they repainted the walls, they changed the electricity that hadn't been changing since those guardhouses were built in the 90s. So they did actual like the guts of the
And who made all the recommendations up to the changes that
The
needed to
board.
be made?
the
The
board.
board said, I want a new toilet? I don't
The
know.
board said, look, this is the same toilet from 1990, let's go ahead and update it.
And we do have, I mean, shouldn't somebody be looking at that without a board giving direction to do that?
No, not that, as far as,
Maintenance?
like we change, okay, that's, I'm exaggerating as far as what it was, like, of course, the bathroom, the bathroom, whenever it breaks down, they replace it, that's a repair, that's a replacement. What I'm talking about is the full guts, the pipes, stuff like that,
The
like
plumbing, the
the
lighting.
plumbing, the
electric.
lighting.
But what I'm saying is that
Yeah.
this board does not have that expertise. What this board is requesting is that somebody
could
takes a look at it.
You could
And gives us
request,
a report as to how to make it up to all the,
well, that's why I asked if what you're asking is just for aesthetics, or you're asking for more of a holistic, improvements.
holistic,
Improving
yeah, because the
electrical.
hope would be that then somebody will make it look better. That's one that.
Well, in addition to aesthetics, my concern would be the positioning of the sun at the end of the day. Royal Oaks is very different in the way that they're situated underneath all the trees. Our guards are completely exposed at the end of the day as that sun, is right on them. Well, it's more the morning, but either way.
Yeah.
So sometimes I've seen them with, I want to say a towel or a blanket hanging up there, am I right? Because for good reason, the sun's right on them, or on a rainy day, they've got this plastic that they're trying to weave through to come out. So I don't see how that's practical or functional, or however you could word that to
Exactly.
say for more, accuracy and, because
Not
when it's
only
raining, they don't come out.
Not
It's
only
not
just pretty, make it look better, but make
Yeah.
it more
Have
functional.
evaluated to see all the different things that could be addressed to make it a better working
Main
environment.
concern is the door, right? Is they wanna put
Well, right, 'cause they're
one
not-
inside, but the problem that we have is there's not enough land there. I mean,
Somebody
you have
can
to
figure
move
it out. Somebody can figure out how to
Then it
use
gets
the
into
space to make it
major
more.
construction with the guard
You
thing.
can put it at the other end.
Maybe we can ask the opinion of John, who's,
Maybe the most inexpensive option would be to simply move the arm gate a little bit forward. So that the distance between the arm gate and the door allows for the officer to simply step out and take a picture from the rear of the vehicle.
If we put a, sliding glass door on the side? or-
No, the same door.
Oh.
But right now, the way that the gate arms have been designed is that the distance between the gate arm and the actual door allows the officer to address the driver. We don't want to do that. We want to address the rear of the vehicle, which in this case means you, instead of modifying the guardhouse, which is, in my view, more expensive, you want to move the arm gate forward. So then the distance between that arm gate and the door is the length of the vehicle. So the officer doesn't need to interact with the driver.
This still
They
doesn't address,
simply,
that doesn't address the point that she made about how the guards get wet and the.
oh,
sun-
no, that's a non,
Right,
Exactly.
I mean, that's.
Ani would make it look prettier. I thought about that too.
But would also guard them from some of the sunlight that hits them.
I know.
And, it's a little hand that just comes out and does a little button to let you in without even taking a picture.
I got quotes for awnings because I was already getting quotes for Royal Oaks East and Section 1 and Loch Lomond. And since they were out there, I got it. I had them look at yours. It's not possible to put it on your section. It's not. It's not big enough of an area from it would cover, it doesn't work mechanically and
So can we request that someone goes and takes a look at it and can suggest all the improvements that are needed for both better working conditions and maybe some aesthetically
No, maybe no.
to add it
And
to make it.
aesthetic.
So, do
100%.
we need a motion for that, Jay? Or
Yeah.
do we just,
I mean, I could go ahead and there's,
Well, I think we motioned, I seconded it. I think this is more or less.
let's just go ahead with a
motion
motion.
to?
Okay.
You read the motion?
Yeah, if I don't remember what I said. Motion to request an assessment? Can you help me, go start with that? An assessment
Request an
no.
assessment of the state of the guardhouse,
Julie, help.
of the working, yeah,
state of the guardhouse.
Right,
I think that's
inspection
neat.
and
Aesthetic,
assessment
functioning,
I like having the word inspection
all
because.
of all
Okay.
the
I like
guardhouse,
the word
the entire, the
inspection, you want
entire,
inspection, motion to request an inspection
and an assessment.
to assess.
for functionality
Functionality.
and aesthetics.
To improve in functionality.
And that should include plumbing, electric, it should include everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that person, I guess, if the answer is yeah, we can move forward on it, that person, instead of going in there blindly, needs to at least have the input of what we've identified. I mean, they might identify other things, or they may come back and tell us.
Okay,
But
You
really,
guys are wrong, the door is exactly where it needs to be.
what I'm
because of the
gathering
BCD.
from the conversation is really the door is what you want to bring up as far as.
Well, the door, the
okay,
sign,
okay, then this is what we're
in
gonna say,
situations of rain, I
This
mean,
is
we
what
live
we're
in South
going-
Florida, guys.
this is what
I
we're
mean-
going to say. I said it to the warehouse to include, and then we can name all the things.
Okay,
You can make the motion really count.
go for it.
To include, what, position of the door?
Positioning of the door, for the functionality of the security guard.
Right.
One of you has to make the motion. So
Yes,
someone's
this is-
gonna have to say this
Is
whole
it
thing.
motion by whom? By Costa? No, we're gonna, our new member. Are you member? Motion by Ms. Padron.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Yeah, you know, she's our new member.
Here for Jay.
There you go. And then,
Jay marked me.
yeah. So the motion is by her, and then we're gonna say to request an inspection to assess functionality and aesthetics to the, to the warehouse.
Did you put inspection
Yeah, inspection to assess.
and recommend? We want their recommendations, right?
To request and. Yeah.
Provide optimal guard,
Functionality and safety and all that.
So we have it?
let's read it
provide-
back and see if Ms. Padron will take that.
To
one.
provide optimal, I heard, I like that, who said that? Optimal functionality, or we already said functionality, okay, this is not working, right? I'm gonna read it one more time and somebody will wrap it up. Motion by Ms. Padron to request an inspection to assess functionality and aesthetics of the guardhouse. To provide optimal working environment,
Uh-huh.
Right.
Uh-huh. You get a car, you get a car, everybody gets a car.
and
Safety.
safety. Thank you. Seconded by.
I
Do
second,
we have a second?
I second, okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion
No.
passes.
Okay.
Oh, quick, good.
Now, hold on though, that's for us to. Does that get us on the budget? Does that get us?
No.
No.
You didn't
That
ask for a
gives you an
quote. You're not
idea of
asking
what
for
we're
a
Yeah,
quote.
I think that's motion passed, we need a second motion.
Well, but we don't know what they're gonna say and we're gonna like it or not.
It doesn't matter, I think we put the, right?
And you're asking for an assessment, you're not asking for, I mean, I could get you an assessment.
Well, we can say assessment and quote,
Right, I mean,
So
okay?
but how do we get on the budget? How do we get the, because we they have to do the first.
We don't
Yeah,
know
we're
if it's
doing
a
the budget
capital
next time.
improvement or if it's an
It is gonna be a capital
update.
improvement, there's no question about that.
some of it may fall
Under replacement.
under replacements,
And if
some may
there's-
fall under repairs, some may fall under capital improvements. I'll tell you flat out, moving the door is a capital improvement.
Okay, but maybe the codes are different.
Well, maybe if we just, like he recommends, move the arms out, we don't have to do the door.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
we can
somebody
do it
that
in
knows-
pieces.
I don't see how that changes anything.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, John, I really don't follow that, because the door is still at the end. Yeah, maybe drawing it up.
Because most tags are still behind the door. No?
Well, now with the hump where we'll.
Right now, to be honest with you, right now, the guard
Now
has
with the
the
hump goes?
perfect situation in terms of they can stay inside the guardhouse and we don't want them to stay inside. That's part of the post orders. But hypothetically, if that wasn't part of the post orders, they have the window there where they are able to snap the photo.
Which I've seen them.
Yeah.
They've done it when it's raining.
Right, and when it rains, they do it. They snap the photo from the window and it's perfect. They could see right there. That technically should be where the door is. It's not. If you move the gate arm back, the guard still has to exit through the area, and now he or she can no longer take a picture from the window.
Right.
So that removes, so it makes it more difficult during rainy hours, rainy weather conditions.
You
And
said
then
back, I think he meant forward.
forward, yeah, well, closer to the door, right?
No,
Way
no.
Further out,
Further
Further
away,
down the street.
further into the community.
further into the community.
But the guard still has to exit. The guard still has to go all the way around.
Right. But
Where is the hump in all of this?
This is the question though, if we're gonna install a hump and later, well, I guess we're gonna have to move the hump. You're leaving the. How about
Okay, we're gonna let somebody show us what they think.
But by the time they give us the rendering and all that, it'll be 2025. My question is this, what about, I'm thinking about these, because you're right, the thing is, I'm in an air conditioned room. So I don't think, and now I'm thinking, you're right, these people, the sun, yeah. What's it cost to buy one of those stand-up umbrellas, those real big ones, like, you know what I'm talking about, that
Like at the next hurricane, I would.
now there's, now what? But they can put it down, put it away. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, like a table,
Not an ugly one, I
like
mean,
a table
something,
umbrella, yeah, yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's still
Is
gonna be
it
an
something we
umbrella.
consider?
Can we get, can we
You
go?
consider. You could consider, and I could re-review the awning setup. If we could get
Smaller.
one that's higher. And then because it's higher, it could be stretched out
Still more of an
further
angle.
and more of an angle to it.
Mhm.
I just don't know aesthetically how it would look, because it would be above the roof.
Can we, can we
That's the
get
only
a,
way to make it work.
What about a stand-up umbrella?
I don't know where you'd put it. There's a tree right there. There's trees.
I think she's talking about the other side, at the end, the other side of it.
No, I'm talking where the guard comes out.
Right, at the back side, there's no tree there.
There's even umbrellas that you can tilt, and so the.
Is there a tree there?
I don't know if that works, but can we get a picture of how they were upgraded in these two other places?
Upgraded what?
The guardhouses that got remodeled, you said, or whatever, or should we go drive by?
The remodel, I can get you pictures of the remodel, absolutely, but I don't,
Let's see what they look like.
I have to look to see the pictures of before and after.
I think we had them before because we got it for the
This
paint.
kind of thing, guys.
So right here is your
This kind of
location.
thing.
Your location is right here. You don't have a tree, but you have a bush.
No.
So, I mean, yeah, technically you could put a pole here. You could put a pole here and an umbrella. It would have to be a strong pole.
Well, if they even cared, maybe we need to talk to them, the ones that work there, I mean, that's a. Another
I
conversation.
could tell you they care.
Well, I would think so, I could see.
Yeah.
I've gotten several.
Awning on this one side, no, that's your little.
Looking at awning can be pretty.
Yeah.
An awning can't be put in.
But even.
We
if you
looked
did
into it, and awning is-
2025, 2026. I guess,
No, that's gonna happen now.
you know that's not true, come on. My
Well, we have
question
to start.
is,
We have
can
to
we
make-
get an umbrella?
Yes.
Can I motion to consider,
You put a
getting an
Oh,
umbrella?
in the middle of the brush, of the,
pole and an umbrella.
yeah,
Okay.
that'll help.
I mean, it's possible.
Can I see?
That morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Where's the ball and umbrella?
You put a pole and an umbrella here.
Oh.
That's a pretty busy time.
Like, I just motioned, anybody want a second so we can talk about it and see if we move it? No,
Yeah.
I forgot.
Now, JP,
Motion to get an umbrella of some sort.
on our request to have that assessment done, is that something that could be piggyback into an existing contract that the town has, or is that gonna require a new contract?
State that one more time.
The assessment that we're asking
Right,
for the guardhouse.
right.
Is that something that could be requested and then tagged to an existing contract that the town has with architects or whatever?
Yeah, I'm sure. I know we have an architect under contract.
That's what I heard
So,
last
yeah.
time we talked about it, yeah.
Yeah,
Because if now we need to make a request for like that we want. But I believe that you said that
we have an architect under contract. I think that we could request for them to,
add this request to his
Yeah.
deal.
Can I motion that we discuss getting a standalone umbrella
In the meantime,
in the meantime? That's my motion,
and pole.
And pole. so. That's my motion, no second,
I'll second.
thank you.
All in favor?
So I don't, no, discussion.
Oh, discussion, I'm sorry.
So my say is that the bigger picture, we talked about, upgrading the whole area aesthetically functioning. And this could take a year. I mean, it just is what it is. And my head is, in the meantime, how can we assist, I guess, the guards, in doing so?
How do you feel about that, John, having them putting up an umbrella in addition to all the other responsibilities?
Anything that can provide them with protection will make their work better.
They would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I don't think the town buys from Home Depot, but I mean, I have envisioned one of these like stands with the umbrellas that you can position and
I'm
you.
not concerned about them, I know they want them. I'm concerned about everybody else and what they think about the color and what it looks like.
Well, you gotta match it to the
Is
house.
it blowing away?
It should just blend and blow up.
If it's a commercial type of thing, it won't blow away so easily,
It would be a.
but it's still.
But
It's not an umbrella, they're
also,
gonna hold their hand, that's what I'm talking
No,
about. It's
no,
like one of these.
no, and it's got a
heavy
heavy
bases
base,
with a
it
thing.
doesn't really move
I mean, I'm
around.
looking at Home Depot.
also, it's not just blocking shade from for the guards. It's blocking shades from the plants that are there.
Yeah,
So you have to take that into consideration. Those bushes
Yeah.
may not.
Because you have the sun.
They're pretty hardy. We've seen them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah, we could also.
I'm
trim
just,
back.
I see 300, I see 600, I mean, just Home Depot, I'm just saying is. If you do color, I mean, the guardhouse is like what, like a beige cream with a terracotta.
Blend.
So it's either a terracotta
Umbrella
umbrella
blend.
or a beige umbrella, I mean, you're not gonna put purple or black or blue or
Right.
yellow.
An umbrella that blends.
Well, I think it's a good idea. I think, it will help out and. You know,
They would appreciate it for those who like to stand outside.
and it's a step in the right direction until we get everything else.
Yeah.
Going.
To address your comment, you say, what you just said something right now.
Was it good?
Yes, but I forgot.
That's that they could stand outside. enjoy-
Oh, I said, the thing
Oh, that
is,
bushes
they're
are hardy.
post orders, which is, what they're supposed to do is, they're supposed to be outside. They're not supposed to be hiding inside unless it's raining or something like that. So to do their job the way we have been instructed them to do that, they need to be outside, and that's why we're saying. If we redo that house, if we can reposition how the guard can actually access it. We might not need to have them physically
Right.
standing outside. I would even go further, how about some sort of chair item that they can stand and sit in? Can I modify my motion to a chair and an umbrella?
No. Because the chair will come with the remodel. All the other guardhouses have chairs.
Yeah.
The cars are sitting. I mean, this one has been my problem too. I mean, I wanted people to sit there. I mean, they want to get up and walk, fine, but they need to be, I mean, it's like cashiers that, Grocery store, if Bob's reaching around that they make these people spend, why? Put
Yeah.
them on a chair.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, okay, more discussion?
So we call the question?
Are we fine?
Okay, I'll choose here.
So do we have to make another new motion or?
No, we have to vote.
Discussion, we need to vote.
All in favor? Of a umbrella for shading, guardhouse, personnel and helping them out?
It was
Aye.
motion by Ms. Costa, it was seconded by Ms. Fabine.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
So get a quote for an umbrella and a pole. And I'm assuming you guys are gonna want, images of how it's gonna look
Absolutely,
and what colors and, all
absolutely.
right.
Once it's there and it's up, then we can talk about chair outside.
Okay, so first we go
Step by
with,
step,
uh,
inch by inch.
The others have chairs, Royal Oaks has
Yeah.
chairs.
They had and they asked, the other community asked for them to remove it, so they no longer can have chairs.
They no longer.
Oh my God.
Okay.
your reason, do you know? What was their,
They were deciding whether to get uniform chairs. And one conversation went to the next, and they went from just discussing uniform chairs to not having chairs at all, so. Interesting.
Well, we're not like them, yeah.
Okay. New business.
Okay, J is for.
There are no new business items.
Anybody need to bring anything up? Or that's been covered? Nope.
The only thing I would like to bring up, since we're on new business, is if there's anything that you would like to discuss for the budget that's not currently in the budget, I think now would be the time. I know we're talking about the quote for the umbrella and the pole, and, the gate arm repairs and all that. Is there anything additionally that you guys, now's the time?
my item is always going to be to have a 24/7 staffed gate. Which I keep hearing the only way to do that is accomplish it with 2 people. I put it to a vote last time, it failed. But I'm not a quitter, so if there's anything that we can put that on the, at least consider it the budget so it can be discussed. I don't know if we can get estimates or use last year's estimates, I don't know, because I remember we got estimates from SFM last year.
I believe it would be different, so we'd have to ask for new estimates.
That would be something that I would put on, so that even, at least give us the opportunity to discuss it. We have a new board member. I don't know what flavor of ice cream she likes, but we can definitely discuss it at the table.
What flavor of ice cream?
You know what I mean.
So we are simply requesting again that we get the cost.
The cost
For
for
the-
the alternative, which I
24/7.
believe the only alternative that's put on the table is to get a second person.
So we can ask for it again, so you say it's gonna be more than last time, but we just want to see it. How much would it be?
Well, you have to make a motion.
I motion
Is it-
to get
I think
the updated information from SFM to add a second person to cover the 24/7. And so that we can consider it at our budget meeting.
Do we have a second?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. One opposed?
I oppose.
One opposed. Strictly just to see the numbers, right?
Yep.
For the budget.
Discussion?
Exactly. Okay. What's we have? Do we want to open?
We need a motion?
Make a motion to open for for public comments. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
If you could, you have 3 minutes. If you could state your name. 3. If you could state your name and where you live.
Terry Murphy, 8346 Dundee Terrace. And I have just a request as a bike rider. If the arms, the gate arms, when you're replacing them, if you could maybe get gate arms that are a foot or two shorter. Bicyclists wouldn't have to be riding in the gutter as they pass by the gate arms. I don't know if there's a length of those gate arms that's standard and you can't get them different sizes. But it'd be nice if they were just a little bit shorter. So you didn't have to worry about dodging the gate arms when you're going through on a bicycle.
Is that something we can consider?
On both sides? In and out?
Yeah, in and out. Yeah, because you have to ride in the, the
So
gutter.
it would be to the end and the exit.
Yeah, yeah.
Two
Well,
open, two on.
Currently, we're using standard size gate arms, so.
But it's
I
something.
mean, if they sell them a little bit shorter,
I remember you,
it'd be nice.
that was a public comment, but I guess we're just discussing now, but you had told us way back in some of the meeting, and I'm saying this so that you hear it from someone besides myself. You had said those come a certain, and then if you notice someone get shorter and shorter, it's because something happened, and they cut off
They
at a
have to
certain.
saw them,
They
yeah.
keep sawing them down until it gets to a point that, no, it's too short now, and then we use it. So apparently they come a certain size, and as they break, or they kind of cut off a piece, and they do get shorter
Yeah.
to continue the service of use.
Right.
Until,
And that's how we spend less money in it too, is, you, instead of replacing the entire gate arm, they saw it based on, like, for example, if it's bent in a certain area, they can cut it in, and if one part of it is larger, they can use the big part up until a certain point.
Could we in fact have them saw shorter?
It's to make it a bike friendly gate, because we have several bicyclists. I am one of them. So what happens is if you get too close to that curve, it's actually a danger for bicycles, because if you flip your bike, your little bike, you're gonna hit the side, which is the sidewalk at a 90-degree angle. It's actually a fatality as bicyclists will die. So that's the request that he's asking. And if it's just like sawing it, right, just on the side, then it allows the cyclists who run commerce every morning,
Right.
every morning there.
Or from my recommendation, that's all I'm here for. You all make the decisions.
How much?
My recommendation is if you were to start off by cutting the gate arm, you're already taking away the length line of that arm. And so it's gonna end up costing you more money in the long run.
What about for reorders? If the
I would
reorder-
say my opinion, the better solution to this would just be to have the guards be aware to open the gate arm when a bicyclist is passing, entering or exiting. They can open the gate arm and pass through, and that's what we're doing in, like, for example, Royal Oaks East. I have people who ride bike through there. When they're going, they'll alert the guard, and the guard will open the gate arm for them, and exit or the entry lane. So
They don't see it exit.
they should from there. They have access through the window on the outside. There's a window. There's a sliding door actually where the exit lane is. But that's my suggestion.
What is your?
It's ultimately,
So
Being the bike rider.
So being, what he's talking about is a road bike, right? It's probably the same for the other bikes as well. And when you pedaling, as you're doing your pedaling in the cycle, the guards don't always see you. Does that make sense? So that slows down your rhythm as you're pedaling, because you have your arm piece on, and your heart rate's at a certain rhythm, and you try to do it within the first 20 or 30 minutes and all that stuff. So in order to decelerate, to accelerate again, and then to stop, because sometimes the guard gets too busy, it kind of like ruins the pace of your cycling rhythm, right? That's not my concern, believe it or not. It's not that.
No.
It's just that it's a safety issue.
But wouldn't that pacing only happen because you guys are exiting your community? So that's only in the
It's
first
exiting and
exiting and
entering,
entering.
that's correct, it's
Right.
exiting and entering.
So this issue is only occurring at the very beginning when you're starting your or entering. or-
It's
or
as you're going in, out,
Yeah.
depending on how many times you're willing to do the circuit,
Yeah,
right?
oh, because you guys are going multiple times through the community. I see your point.
That's correct, so.
Do they don't go out
that-
of big commerce, they stay within.
So, I do know that it's been done before, because I used to ride, and then I noticed that the gate was.
Yeah.
It was someone whoever thought about the gate realized that, you know what, we have cyclists there on Commerce,
Mhm.
and that's what they use, and then there's 2 feet from the sidewalk, and the cyclist just goes. If you have a car, all the cars have to stop, because they can't make that, does that make sense?
So it's 2 feet,
Yeah. it's about
So
2 feet
it
or-
would have to be 2 feet that you'd have to cut it, right?
Or-
that'd be nice, or, I mean, I can't believe they don't sell them.
Yeah, I was
Sure.
surprised, I didn't.
No,
I didn't
I'm
think of
sure
it,
they
so-
do sell them. I'm sure I can look into, like I said, the one that what we have right now currently is standard size.
Oh.
I'm sure that they do sell them for shorter, but that still means that the life of that gate arm is less. Because right now,
Because
you know, you're cutting 2 feet off. So if someone crashes into it, you know, we have 2 feet less to hold on to that lifeline of the, you know, like when if it's a full standard one and you bump it and it breaks on this end, you cut it, you still have this area. But now you're already cutting it, you know, let's say halfway. I'm just making you aware
Is it better to purchase it to the
I don't
correct
know.
size?
I don't know, I have to.
Right, that's what I'm
And-
saying, when we're replacing, we replace them at this shorter length.
Right,
Yeah,
those two
than the
areas.
One length we have now.
In
Now,
those-
we would have to
those
just
two.
find
yeah,
out.
I don't have an answer for you.
Yeah.
Nicole.
I mean,
I
I
don't.
think that's what we're asking.
I'm giving you my 2 cents, that's all.
My concern,
It's up to you.
my concern is that, again, the reason why we're here is under this ordinance, which has to do with safety. Not specifically addressed to bicyclists. I have nothing against bicyclists. I wish I was a bicyclist. But at the end of the day is, all the cars that are going there have to slow down and stop to go to the thing is, I think is if you want safety. I understand it's for exercise and all that is, but if you're looking at safety, the safety thing is maybe not go to the curb, like you said. But maybe go through the, have to slow down for the guard to go up and that would be the safest way. I don't know if increasing expenses for the purpose of what our ordinance is to try to make it bicyclist
Friendly,
friendly.
that's,
Yeah,
that's the option, like I said, at the end of the day, this board is, you're either.
I mean,
gonna
I
be
mean, something, I guess,
friendly or not.
I don't know what the answer is, but it's something that we guess we consider, but I'm not sure. I mean, I'm not motioning anything now to take action on the public comment, but I mean, I'm listening.
Well, maybe you could find out if they come in different sizes.
I sure there are, there have to be.
Okay, so,
Maybe there
And
is,
like I said, like I said, it could be installed at a shorter length. We could cut it from the start when they're installed.
I wouldn't
That's
be
not an
cutting,
issue.
I would look into see if there are bicycle friendly, they're probably called bicycle friendly farms.
Oh, wait, if we were to cut it now for the bicyclists, make it safe. And then let's say it gets compromised, we have to cut 6 inches, okay, what's our threshold? We've met the threshold. At that point, then we consider buying one that's already pre-cut. What's the difference?
Because then when it goes to get fixed, we have less to work with. So we're gonna increase our expenses. We have to buy more
Right, but
poles.
we're already cutting, so how many times does a car have to hit the pole for us to consider it the safety of the bicyclists? So if we cut it already, now we have space and safety for the bicycle riders. If 3 people hit the pole, we have to cut it that much anyway.
No,
Is that understanding?
I understand what you're saying. I have
You
I have a
understand?
lot of questions, because if you
I
cut it
mean,
enough for a
if
bicyclist,
we're cutting it anyway because someone's hit it. How many times do they have to hit it before we've met their safety?
So I think what I'm trying to say is,
Yes,
I'm gonna use your rationale on this one. So this is the guard, the gate arm.
12
This
12
is the
feet.
regular 12 feet gate arm,
Right.
as an example. If I hit this gate arm 4 times, like the way that you're
Okay.
saying, it can no longer be used. Okay, I cut it up to 6 inches. Once it reaches 6 inches, it can no longer be used.
Oh, 6 inches.
I'm giving you an example.
Oh, okay, so you're not sure.
Yeah, I don't, but what I'm trying to say is, I don't know how, it's hard to say that, you know, if it hits 3 times, it's no longer gonna be in use. It depends on the status of the gate arm.
Or it's
Yeah.
too short.
Right, too short. All I know is that, we currently have been able to use that gate arm multiple times, even after it gets run over or anything like that, because we cut it only to a certain point.
Mhm.
When you're cutting into that length already, then we're closer to that certain point where we have to get a new one.
Mhm.
So that's what I mean by that.
Right, I'll just ask one thing. If you do cut one of those arms, can you put it on the outer side lanes?
Mhm. Because then you can enter or exit at least on one side.
But what, so.
See, that's something that can be discussed. That would be something that that's a solution that can maybe work out. If it gets cut, then we move it to the other lane. I don't know, but again, that doesn't make it a bike friendly lane all the time.
It'll never be bike friendly lane or, yeah.
It would solve this, you know, like, all I say is, if you're closer to the threshold, and I'm not the person that fixes it, I'm just, if you get it closer to that threshold, then you're gonna have to repair it more often. Because you're gonna have to replace it more often, which means your costs are gonna go higher. That's all I'm mentioning to you all, and you can make whatever decision you want. If you want us to cut it now, or if you want us to order different gate arms, we can. If you only want to order an entry lane gate arm and an exit gate arm to be shorter, and we only have 1 lane as opposed to all 3 entry lanes, that's something that you could discuss. That's,
Right, if I can just disclose one thing.
yeah.
On the entrance coming in, it's real easy to take the sidewalk. I mean, you can take the sidewalk and get right back in the lane. You know, there's typically, that's an easy passage. It's just on the exit lane, there's no entry to the sidewalk except way early when you're exiting the community. And so I don't generally ride on the sidewalk because of pedestrians.
Right.
But so it's primarily the exit that has the problem because of the pole so long, it forces you in the gutter. So if you ever cut one of those poles on any of the lanes, if you can just put it on the exit lane, that would be great.
That's something that I think we could definitely discuss. I'd have to look into the threshold to see what, I have to talk to the person that repairs it, the technician, to see how he does it, how he's based it off. Because if he tells me that we cut it, we have to replace it after 2 feet, then that ruins the whole conversation as it is. I don't know what the threshold is.
Even a foot would be nice.
Yeah.
Find out and get back to us.
I have a question. If you cut the pole to make it biker friendly, do you not also make it, let's call it motorcycle
Friendly.
and other friendly, where instead of going to the visitor tag, and the purpose of that
He's
section
asking
is.
for just the exit though. He's asking for the exit part.
He's just asking that.
Yeah, not the entrance part.
A
'Cause he said-
motorcycle would need much more.
No, you need more space. The cyclists are very
They're just
small. The
asking.
motorcycle is actually very.
I would just like to see if there are such thing as arms that are bicycle friendly.
Yeah, whether we can cut it or whether we can order it.
Yes.
Just for the exit thing. We just do the research and get back to us. How's that?
But all the commentary, all the people that come are getting what they want.
That's
Would
what
you-
we do.
Would you, make it any report, or just if we had any questions? please?
Oh, just if you had any questions.
Well, we appreciate you.
But I do, know that it has definitely no robberies and numbers are down.
You're good.
I'm sorry, and I forgot your name. You said that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We have.
You know when the next meeting is?
Oh, that's right. One of the meetings.
Yes. budget meeting will take place on the 6th of May
That is
at
correct.
6 p.m.
That's for the meeting of the council or us,
You guys,
our meeting?
to
At what time?
discuss the budget, 6 p.m.
Do you need an agenda from you for that, or?
It's literally gonna be one
just
item.
one item?
It's gonna be one item on the,
Do you need it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take care of it.
Do you have the next regular meeting or no? Date?
The next regular meeting is in June, I believe. June. Sorry, July. July 8th. At 6 p.m.
Motion to
The
adjourn?
goal of the budget meeting would be to complete the budget meeting and not have to do a second.
Can we have an advance, copy of it?
I
Email to
will-
us so we can blow it up and see it, and then come in.
I
prepared?
will do my best to get that for you, with plenty of ample time. I have to work with a budget officer on to get it for you. as well.
Is there a reason for the emergency? I call it emergency because we got very little notice
It's
and it was very clear, come in, discuss it and vote. I'm like.
Helen, Helen, I think I mentioned plenty of times that we were gonna have a meeting in May for the budget meeting. Did I, in these meetings, am I wrong?
I don't know, you're probably right, I don't know.
You're always right, you're gonna win.
I don't wanna always be right. I'm just saying,
Okay, please.
I think
you
I
are
said
right.
it. I think I said it, but if I didn't, I apologize.
But I'm with him as far as if you guys knew it ahead of, like you said, you've said it many times. We can't get a budget ahead of time, because coming in here,
Yeah, I gotta go take care of the kids.
first my numbers are tiny, meeny, whatever, and like you walk in and they.
But
You
put-
give it
she
to
put
us ahead of
she puts
time.
it up, she puts it
Yeah.
up on the thing.
No. If you give it to ahead of time, especially if you want to vote on it,
Who said motion to adjourn?
I did.
The chair or you?
Second.
You know, that's Cinco de Mayo, that May 6th, budget meeting at 6.
Cinco de Mayo would be the day before, no?
Right.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, not 6th of 6.
The hangover should be over.
It should be over by now.
Are you drinking already?
What time? 9:38?
9:38.
Have a great evening, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Next time I will talk.
JP.
After all our margaritas.